fire up the stream. We're live. And I gave him, what I give him, I've swapped between a couple of things. But let's see what I've settled on for the moment. It's probably, we could change this at any point, but there's just parts of me that felt like he needed something. Oh, that's right. Survival instinct. So when he takes damage, you may immediately move him up to 2 spaces, and he does not take leave-in engagements while moved in this way. That's pretty similar to what the Goblin Squad from Heroescape has, actually. But again, to go along with the, I think one of the, but didn't the flavor text mention he was a survivor or something? So this was kind of a knock, you know, a reference to that.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, that's cool. That kind of brings it into, well, having that third ability, isn't it?
I don't know how often we should have 3 abilities on figures, but he was just like pure red with like very little survivability, and so this kind of helps a little bit. And we can even remove it. I don't care. It was just something that I felt like tossing in there.
Yeah, sure.
And then with the Shia, I did remove the -1 toughness. Because after I gave it Natural Fury with the double attack and I play tested it, it was actually probably a little too good. And I removed the 1 toughness, you know, the -1 toughness modifier, and it seems like it's in a decent spot. Like, I haven't done a ton of play testing. Just 1 second here. I gotta pause my preview of my own stream real quick. But anyway, yeah, Shia feels like it's actually like almost decent now. I'm actually happy that out of like 8 playtests, I think I won my first 2 games after giving it the double attack. It feels like a miracle.
Yeah.
Okay, now I gotta get these posts up, sorry. Whoops. Post in the Discord to say that we're live. I'm gonna go put it in the Heroescape Discord real quick in their AOTP channel. Actually, I'll put it in the self-promotion as well. I'll self-promote. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, did you want to run through the spells real quick? I don't think I changed many other things about the other figures, and like I said, well, those are more than likely going to be changed many times as we play test it anyway.
Yeah. I think I was just adding the survival instinct onto the dock, so it was up to date.
Okay, I can copy. If it comes down to it, let's just copy and paste it again. Like, I can copy and paste it into your doc at the end of our talk here.
Yeah.
I think that'll probably be the easiest. Okay. Yeah, let me just scroll through. Oh, I did change. See, dude, I always change these things. Is like one day I just feel like I'm I figure out something better. Where was it? It was for the spirit dude. Where was he? The black one. Yeah, and that's your spirit. So I was thinking about it. So he still has stealth flying, insubstantial, and I gave him this one, which is. Are you familiar with Finn the Viking warrior, or Thorgrim from Heroescape?
Yeah, I've got Finn.
Or Finn and Thorgrim, the Viking champion. I think that's her name. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is basically that. If you can you read it?
Yeah. I see.
I mostly copied the wording from Finn/Thorgrim's card.
Yeah.
Just be like,
which was that? Oh, the Indentured Spirit.
This is the black hero that had 0 toughness. And I severely, like, I think I had his cost at like 80 or something. I definitely bumped up his cost for it too. But again, this is just a guess. Like, I have not playtested this once. I've only playtested the 2 Planeswalkers and a Shia so far. I just get ideas in my head, and I'm like, oh wait, this is a spirit. And, you know, I thought of Finn and Thorgrim, and I was like, this might be cool to give black, like, a debuff ability with this guy's dead figure, you know?
Yeah.
But again, I wouldn't bother. Don't worry too much about copying and pasting that, because we'll, I can just copy and paste the entire doc into your doc. Like, I changed this crap so much that it's like, by the next time we speak, I'll probably have changed even more. So, we'll come to a conclusion on what we should use and what we shouldn't use at some point. I just toss ideas on these docs, and that's the way it is. Did we talk about the colorless figures? We did, right? The
Yeah, we did. I think that there's an agreement that we ditch the Eldrazi Titans.
Yeah, and I'd hate to ditch them, but it's hard.
Being too powerful.
To be either too powerful or just finding a good figure to represent them too, I think was my thing. Okay. Because I think, let's see, what did I change? I think I kept this guy the same, the Blight Herder. I think I changed something about the other ones. What were they? The Mind Rakers. So I know I changed something with Ingest. So Ingest stayed the same. I added this where it says during each turn. This might need to be reworded, but I think I want something like this to take place. The first time that a Mind Raker you control deals combat damage to an enemy Planeswalker, it basically just re-exiles another card. But it caps out at 1 card per turn as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so...
I felt bad.
So that isn't just a summon.
Yeah, I felt bad because I still, as I said, like we talked about it, you know, how we said that, you know, like the hookers, how like they only have one ability and it's a summon, you know, when they're summoned, that's what they do. I just felt like that was bad. Like it feels bad to have that, to have like an Eldrazi creature that only does something on summoning. So this basically gives them a small combat ability that once per turn they can re-inflict or re-exile a card. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still pretty minor, in my opinion. Like, again, it's only once. It's only supposed to be the first time, so it's minor, but it gives you a little more something to work toward with them, I think.
Yeah, I think that's good, because it encourages play with them, rather than just throwing them out for their one-time ability and then forgetting about them to be...
Potentially.
Cannon fodder.
Are you going? Alright, 1 sec, Luke. I didn't put the mic on her, but she just wanted to say hi. He says hi. Alright, have fun. Love you. Alright, anyway, so I put that in there. My camera's like super off center. It'll probably take some play testing. Again, I just shove ideas on here to be like, how do I make these more interesting and more like, does the player have a choice? I guess is what I try and think of.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's not Annihilator, so we're fine.
Yeah, Annihilator was just... I don't think I'm going to try Annihilator at all, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Annihilator's brutal, even in Magic, like the card game. Having Annihilator against you is just...
That's, that feels like it would have to be like an Eldrazi, like super... Like the Ruiner should have had Annihilator, but maybe toned down or something, but whatever.
Yeah.
So spells. You've probably you've read through these spells at least once, right?
I think I looked at them briefly, but let's see. So Oath of Gideon, that's what we did before. Okay.
Just moving my dock here.
Or have you changed that?
Okay. I changed this one recently too. This might have been one I changed as well. From the last time we talked, or even within the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to take, because White usually does a lot of exile, right? In the card.
Yeah.
So I felt like this was the only. Okay. So I felt like before, I want to say it might have been last week, or it might have been within the last 2 weeks. This didn't do this. It like on the first time I streamed this, it had it where it provided this right here, and then it gave all friendly figures. So it did this, and then it also gave all friendly figures adjacent to Gideon +1 toughness.
Mm-hmm.
But I just decided I want to add something for exile, and again something more specific to make mono white, or I guess Gideon in this case, better. Because again, I guess we're still cool with the mindset being that for these oaths that we kind of mostly want them to be for the monocolor planeswalkers because they're kind of junky compared to dual color, right?
Yeah.
Like until there's at least a lot more stuff added in for all the colors, like monocolor planeswalkers just feel really like piss poor compared to the dual color ones.
Well, they are there, for the synergize specifically with those monocolored planeswalkers.
Okay. So I feel like this is a good way to at least start with getting some kind of exile, even if it's only with Gideon. I don't know. What do you think about this?
Yeah, no, I like it.
Okay. At this point too, so we talked about like adding like trample and adding trample and like flying, self-flying as like phrases we add in the rule book to be like, so we'll just write,
Yeah.
flying means
The
this, and so then when you
abilities,
put it
yeah.
on the card, you just put flying, and you don't need the whole, 3 sentences to describe what to
Yeah.
do. What do you think about doing that, adding exile in here so that we can put, like... Oh, and I made a note here. I'm jumping around a bit. But I did make a note here because I'm looking more into using more exile for the Eldrazi and for Gideon, or /White, for this expansion. Like, I've been thinking about it more. So I added this little note here that, like, thinking that maybe for this guy, when I originally said, that it's instead of I think this Blight Herder in MTG, where it says, like, you take a card from exile and put it in the graveyard, I decided to make it in my first draft here, that you take it from the graveyard and put it back into the library. My other thought here is that, like, we might have this one, right, instead of taking a card from the graveyard, you take a card from exile. So, something to consider. But I'm thinking more I might want to take exile more seriously with White and the Eldrazi /colorless with this set. I don't know what you think. And on that note, would we want to add exile so that I won't have to write all this crap out just to put, hey, exile this card? Should we add exile as like a one of our cheat sheet, rulebook words?
Yeah, I think adding rules around exile, should be included so we can do stuff like this, because these abilities with exile cards are fun. We're gonna want them. So
yeah, but as long as you
define it. It's part of the game zones definitions, so you can add that into that point.
Okay. Will we make like a specific zone, or will we just say, like, in order to exile a card, like, continue to say what we did here, where like you put the card face down underneath like the card that exiled, that kind of thing?
So we'll say that exile is. Well, that's true actually.
It's like, do we make a zone, or do we just say, hey, when you exile a card, put the exiled card underneath the card, underneath the source or whatever that exiled it? I don't know.
So I think the only issue with doing that, like, that makes it clearer for play, but the only issue with doing that is it limits what exile can do for future things. Whereas if we keep it in the same definition as Magic, in that exile is a zone the same way, the battlefield, your hand, the deck, your reserve are all zones.
Yeah.
And exile is just another zone that things can be in. Then that would make it better.
Okay.
In terms of, like, writing abilities. But then when it comes to actually playing, to keep track, then people can put cards under other cards as reminders, even.
Okay. Okay, so I guess why would you want exile to be its own zone?
It'll be on a similar note to that Dentured Spirit. When it dies, you can put it onto an enemy figure card.
Yeah, put it on their card.
Because even though it's on that card, it's still in the graveyard.
Yeah. Well,
so
it's a good question.
The figure itself and the Indentured Spirit army card would be in the figure and army card graveyards, even though you're using the physical figure as a reminder to give a -1 into another creature.
Okay. So yeah, how does that work with exile? So, like, I guess I need another example because I can't think of why. Like, you want to have a separate exile zone. I just can't think of, like, why. Like, so if something gets exiled, like, why does the separate zone need to be there?
Because things can be exiled permanently, like, without clauses to bring them back.
Oh, okay, I see, right.
So it might be like just a basic white spell that says exile target squad creature.
Like a sorcery, which means like the sorcery goes to the graveyard, right? So that's like, how do you know?
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
There's also, because of that, there's a difference because there's a lot of cards that interact, well, at least in Magic, and I presume the same design trends would fall into Arena, in that there's a lot of cards that will interact with graveyards in certain colours, so stuff like green, black, or just black and blue as well, will interact with graveyards. Whereas if you're playing against that, if you're, say, a white, if you have a white deck playing against that, then exile is a way to circumvent that and stop them getting things back out their graveyard.
Okay. Oh my gosh, yeah, that would severely break, like, the Restless Zombies that I'm thinking of, yeah. How do you foresee, like, the Restless Zombies working? So, like, let's say I mean, I guess we're talking far into the future at this point, but like if you exile one of the 3 Restless Zombie cards or figures, whoops, and then the other 2 go to their graveyard, like, dude, at that point I have to read the Restless Zombies, but do you still get to roll for their Darkness Arises if there's only 2 of them in the graveyard? I'd assume probably not.
Look at the card, yeah.
Right, I'm gonna go to the Hero Escapers. I always like to go to their AOTP section.
Yeah. The rest of zombies.
I'm pretty sure the rest of zombies says if all of them are in your figure graveyard.
Yeah, it says if all are in. So that wouldn't happen because they wouldn't all be in the graveyard.
Right. So that like completely breaks them. Okay. Let's see. If all restless zombies are in your figure graveyard, yeah. Huh.
Yeah, the same way that if a couple of them are killed and then you unsummon the last one, you can't do that either.
Right.
Because they're not all in the graveyard, they're in different zones.
Interesting. Okay. Alright. At a gut level, I feel like that's... I would personally not want to see that. To be like, for a white to have a sorcery that says exile, 1 creature. And then, like, there's just no way to get it back. But... we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Like, I don't mind the idea of, like, exiling things with the intent that, like, you have to go and kill what exiled it. I think that's a pretty cool, like... So you can chase this target to get your exiled thing back, or just say, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep fighting, and what I lost in exile is gone.
Yeah.
I like that. I'd like to give the player the ability to fight. Again, it's like a player choice kind of thing. To, like, you can fight to get your exile zombie back somehow by like killing the enchantment or killing the guy that's enchanted or whatever the deal is. But maybe if that becomes a balance issue, and like we should have a permanent exile with no way to get it back, but I don't think the game is, it's not big enough or anything to be like, it's not that unbalanced either direction right now.
Yeah, probably not at this point.
Okay, but either way, I guess, yeah, in my head, and I think I'd prefer to stay this way for this set, and maybe, you can steer me another way if you want, but in my head, like, exile works the way these cards have it, where it's like, there's a clear source, and like, it's like, well, actually, this is a pretty tough one by itself. This is nearly a permanent exile, if you think about it. Because, like, you put this on Gideon, who's a Planeswalker.
But you can always destroy enchantments.
True. That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
But I like things like this, though, yeah, where it's like, a specific, like, the thing is, like, resting on the battlefield, and you can charge and kill the target. Or, I guess, in some cases, the enchantment to get your exiled goodies back. That's kind of what I was thinking of, at least for exile for this set. What do you think of that? Or would you rather chase the, like, have a white sorcery that just says exile this creature and they're just gone and there's no way, right? There's no way to get it back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that strictly should be a card that exists, but
yeah.
I think defining exile just as a zone, and then even if, we mostly use it as these kinds of abilities that are exile but have a way to return, then it keeps the rules, the framework of the rules available for anything else.
Okay. Okay.
Because there could also be, so another example would be like, you could like draw 2 or 3 cards and then pick one to cast, and the other gets exiled.
Yeah. Well, if it's like player, like you induce it upon yourself, I'm fine with that. Yeah. It's like then you build your deck and you're making a choice to make that happen. That I'm fine with, right? It's just that when you're inflicting like permanent exile on your opponent, and like I don't think I'm gonna have any cards in here that'll like say get this card out of or get your figure out of exile in this set, other than by destroying the source that causes the exile, which is kind of why I'm trying to stick to this for now.
Yeah.
But what you just said is cool.
And,
what color usually does that kind of thing? If you don't mind telling me first. What kind of color like does that? Like, what color would have like pick up 2 cards and then like cast one of those 2 and then exile the other? Like, what color would do that, or is that all of them?
I think it's all of them, because it's those more unusual abilities that do stuff. And so the other useful thing that exile is used for is those kinds of like do something like completely wacky, but it's using exile as a zone for those things to happen in, like when you're messing around with cards and stuff. So for example, there's like some things that like, there's like a few cards that, or a few creatures in Magic where you can draw your opponent's cards out of their library, in effect, and cast them. But it does that by like exiling them, and then you can cast them from exile. So they're not like in your hand.
Yep. I gotcha. I've seen cards like that, yeah, or even that does it to your own deck, where it's like, yeah, you exile like the top 5 cards of your deck, and you can play all of them without paying the mana cost. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you can do that with your opponent's deck, but that's pretty neat.
Okay. Yeah, there are a couple that do that.
I would like to.
It's obviously not that common, but.
I feel like something like that, like you said, where it's like look at the top 2 cards or draw the top 2 or whatever the phrase may be, and then like you play one and exile the other. That might be cool as like a colorless spell or something. I think, like again, self-inflicted, so that like you know when you build your library ahead of time, like you know that this is something you're gonna do to yourself. Like this isn't your opponent might randomly have this thing that you can never recover from, and not know it's coming. You know.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Okay. Well, anyway. We're pretty cool with Oath of Gideon, so I left the all friendly cores within 4 clear sight spaces of him. Get +1 toughness.
Yeah, Zendikar, Gideon was very cool ally.
I don't know why I noticed that though. I was like, alright, I gotta do something for the core. I feel like the hookers and the core aeronaut captain aren't really like overpowered, so like this is a perfectly fine bonus to throw in here. It feels very white, so alright, I'm happy. I like Gideon's Reproach. The card art for this card is actually pretty dope. And I feel like this card seems kind of thematic the way I have it. So Hidden Enchant Planeswalker, 10-pointer. Flip when the Enchanted Planeswalker is attacked while it is engaged. Enchanted figure gets +1 toughness and Counter Strike, and then destroy the enchantment at the end of turn. It's very white. White has all these, get X toughness until end of turn. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I like that. That's quite a cool idea.
This is one thing I want to test this with is Nahiri. I feel like this could be particularly busted with Nahiri, because she gets the she rolls 6 defense when she's on height, which means like she's gonna really take a dump on melee figures with this.
Yeah.
But it's only 1 turn, so I don't think this is gonna be a massive problem, frankly. It's like if if you're playing like a melee squad and you attack Nahiri and you flip this after the first attack, it's like you probably just don't attack with the other 2 guys, which sucks, but at least they're not dying by Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
You pretty happy with how this is? Like, I don't have anything else to say. I think this is a pretty sick card. It might need to be costed more, but playtesting.
Yeah. No, I think it looks good. It is. As it is.
Alright. Good. Next white. Angelic Gift, sorcery for 20 points. Target squad with range 1 that you control gets flying until end of turn. I didn't have the range 1 in there at some point. Like I just had a target squad you control gets flying, and I might go back to that. I don't know. I can't make up my mind if I want the range 1 to be a condition.
Yeah, I guess are there any non-range 1 figures that would make them crazy overpowered to do that with? But...
well, no, not immediately, but I guess in the future. Like, let's face it.
Well, I guess also in any color, because that could be in a dual color deck.
That's what well, right. So the only ranged figures that in current official ATP that could ever use this, I think, is the hookers. Like, so you have Sorin, who's white-black. You got Gideon, who's just white, and then Nahiri, who's white-red. There's no range figures, no range squads in any of those colors except for the hookers. Everything else is range 1. It's really sad. But yeah, what I was thinking was right. It was like when we came, like in my head, I think we'd probably release like a Johnny as like a white-green. That's what I was thinking. But like, if you get like a white-green or a white-blue Planeswalker, then you think like Kessig Rangers or Illusionary Projections that get flying for a turn, and then things kind of get hairy, I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. We could playtest that.
I mean, I think probably it would be alright for any squad to get flying for a turn.
You might even be right. Flying isn't super broken, especially for 1 turn.
Yeah, it's just 1 turn. They could like hop up some crazy terrain. Actually, to be fair, yeah, any squad, because, well, hopefully, if I can make it, we'll make a tool Seagate. It'd be like a big wall for figures to climb.
Oh crap! Like castle wall kind of thing. You talking?
Yeah, it was a seawall.
But it'd be like
On
the height,
Zendikar.
like a big old castle wall, like akin to the castle wall set from Heroescape.
Yeah.
But it'd be
In
like
fact,
something
if you,
that's like relatively
If you
high.
just search for Seagate Zendikar, then it should come up with the artwork of it. So
like
you can see.
like on like internet, like search engine kind of.
Yeah,
thing?
yeah. Just search Seagate Zendikar.
Zendikar. Is that like a card? Is it like a creature or like what is it? I don't get it.
It was mentioned. It's just a place on the plane of Zendikar, and it's in a few of the artworks.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. It's like the Great Wall of China, but for the sea.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, I'm looking in the images of the cards, but there's I see. Okay. All right, it says like a big
Yeah.
old like dam or something. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It held back the sea from whatever the place was called. I forget the name, which location it was there, but yeah.
And what the Eldrazi like wanted to come and destroy it or something?
And well, they did. And one of them, I think.
Oh.
Is it Ulamog? Yeah. In fact, so yeah, it was at Seagate that they had the stand against Ulamog.
Okay.
Uh,
Cool. Okay, yeah, so right, then so the Seagate, I guess in your head, for AOTP, it would be like a destructible object that like the Eldrazi would have to kill,
Yeah.
let's say, in the scenario. I like that, that's really cool. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk more about
Yeah,
the scenario at some point, but
and-
that sounds cool.
Depending how well I can model it, it will be like several levels high and then like in pieces, so it can be like broken.
Oh, crap. Okay.
But
I like
we'll
the
have
idea.
to.
That sounds like a really fun scenario. So it'd be kind of similar to the Cryptoliths, huh? Where like you have to defend the Cryptoliths, but
Yeah.
the Eldrazi could be a much like bigger and hairier enemy to deal with. It might be that might be like a fun 2-on-1. Yeah, defending the seawall or the Seagate from the Eldrazi, all the Eldrazi things. Anyway, we're a little off track. Where was I? So yeah, so we'll just leave this target squad you control gets flying till end of turn. I don't totally mind this. This is fine.
Yeah.
It's hard. I've thought about like trying to play test just to be like make some random. I think I told you before, especially for like red white or I mean red blue, because I think red blue might be a really like busted color combination. Just to make like a vanilla like 4/4 toughness power, red blue planeswalker with like no abilities. It's just like he's like vanilla, like 6 life and 5 move and 5 range, and just like see how far the creatures and the spells take him. Because I just feel like the spells and the creatures of red and blue would be really dumb. But
Yeah.
I haven't set the time to do that. But I wonder that for this to be like, hey, if we make like a white green planeswalker, even if I make like a dumb vanilla default one, and I mix this in with like Kessig Rangers or Elf Rangers, like how busted is the spell? But that's like really just looking really far ahead and. There's so much busted shit in AOTP, like the official set already, that I'm not too concerned that this is gonna break anything worse than it's already broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think with what we have, we're not going to do anything too crazy accidentally.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad you see it that way because I sit here and I think about it. I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, all right. So
Just before we go on to the blues, do you want to put a note at the bottom to add exile rules in?
Sure. Why not?
So it's there.
Where? Oh, like in here.
Yeah, I think.
Expand. All right. Explanations, new mechanics. Like, where would we put this? I guess. As far as like, how would you want to organize this in the hierarchy?
So hold on.
Because we probably should put flying, stealth
yeah,
flying.
just put it under the comprehensive guide. Yeah, same level as token creatures. Yeah, just put it as exile.
Same level as token creatures. Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
we'll
just
put a
put
space
exile
here,
as
but-
a.
So like, what do you want? What do you want to put? Like define. So if we want like exile, would you agree trample's one we could probably throw in here? I literally mostly because of the Shia, like I would trample as like
put that as a separate point. So put exile as its own point. So have to like define how exile works, and
exile,
then
like, the mechanics itself.
evergreen. Yeah, and then put evergreen abilities as a separate point.
Okay. Yes.
So they get all defined up.
And then we'll put so exile is going to be one of them. Trample should be one. Was flying, stealth flying. We don't.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it in a bit, but what else?
Detain.
Detain.
Detain has been on several cards.
Wait, like.
Seaboard.
Wait, like what? Wait, which cards has Detain been on? Detain's only been on the Hookmasters right now, but here's the thing. So the custom set.
Oh no, I'm
I think
thinking it's New Gideon. That's why. Yeah, has
so
only been on them.
And I think we're about to go into blue. Is I made a blue card that. The only thing I don't like about the original Detain is it only works against squads, and maybe it should stay that way. I don't know, but with like the playtesting with Gideon, I feel like he's got quote unquote super Detain, which can do a squad or a hero. I have a blue card. I think that actually only. Whoops, it'd be up above. It detains a hero only. I don't know if detain should be a keyword only because detain is only detaining squads, which I don't.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah,
yeah.
I was mixing it up.
It's kind of hard to. Yeah. Anyway, I personally think we should leave it out. Yeah, because Gideon uses Hieromancy, which is different from the Hooker's Detain, and then I have a blue spell, which only quote unquote detains a hero and not a squad. But anyway, all right. Anything else? Should we add First Strike in here because we put it on what's his face? There's
yeah.
What is it? The goblin. I can't even remember his name. First Strike. It's not a very good ability, but maybe maybe.
No, I think perhaps for this set, even ones that might be evergreen, they should still be written out unless they're like already common enough. See what I mean?
Like Death Touch. So like Death Touch is one, right?
I think like, yeah. I mean, what were my? So I kind of did this already. Yeah, in that I put certain keyword abilities into the rulebook.
You had Death Touch in there.
Yeah, I had Death Touch. I had Disengage as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
But gosh. Is that? Is there a spell that grants Disengage? There is, isn't there?
This is Expedition. It's mostly green shit and some blue stuff. Yeah.
Oh, Haste as well.
Oh yep, that's a beautiful one.
Haste, Lifelink. I'm not sure if that was on more than one card or not.
Yes, it is. It's on a spell and it's on a creature. Yeah.
Yeah, Seaborn is definitely on 2 creatures.
Oh my gosh, we got so many. Like this is already more than I'm comfortable with. Is there a lot more than this?
Sprint as well.
Do we
and
really want
Transform?
To? Yeah, Transform should be. I would kind of disagree with Sprint. I wouldn't want to see Sprint on many more cars personally. That's me. I feel like Sprint is kind of busted. At least on on Nissa, I feel like it's kind of broken.
Yeah.
Not only that, but we have Sprint.
So the point of
Go ahead.
Like evergreen abilities in Magic is that they're just ones where they don't write out the reminder text on the card because they appear frequently enough that if you play, you know what they are.
Yeah.
So there shouldn't be too many in total.
How many do we have? One. How many are there in AOTP in the card game? Do you know how many like evergreen definitions or whatever they are?
How many are there? Let's have a look. The list changes every now and again. They add different ones.
All right, we got 11 here right now. I'm kind of uncomfortable with this many, but I would hate to go much further than this. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
We don't want it to make this. Yeah, we don't want to make this too complicated.
There's 18.
Okay. Wow. So we're approaching it. We're at 11.
Yeah. So I think maybe some of these,
like Vigilance, we're probably going to put in here eventually, right?
Yeah. Yeah, quite possibly.
What else would eventually go in here, you think, for the future? I'll just put it as a future potentials. I'll just add potentials just as like a special note. Vigilance.
I think maybe some of these that like could be evergreen, probably maybe even shouldn't be in this set. Like just stick to the ones that are very common and easy to understand, and then only when they've appeared several times over several sets, upgrade them to be evergreen.
Okay. Yeah, like I wouldn't want to put Vigilance in this rulebook, but rather I'm saying for us to think about in the future, like, so Vigilance probably would be one, right? Eventually, I feel like Vigilance should be common enough. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, but so I think maybe like things like Trample, Flying, and Haste, maybe. should be like maybe like the only ones that are
Oh, that
common
are actually
enough.
spelled out in the book right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like these others would be ones that would be added as more cards appear with those abilities.
Because there's only one card with Death Touch, and it's that one spell.
Yeah.
So then, do you want me to delete this or leave it here or what?
Same with like Lifelink and Seaborn and stuff. Like even though they appear on more than one card, I think it would still be helpful to have it written out on the next
Okay.
2 or 3 cards that have it before it gets upgraded
Yeah, I wouldn't have a
to
problem
an
with that.
evergreen.
Okay. So then, all right. So let's do this then. I'm not sure if this is actually how you want to do it, but I'll take these out and I'll just put them as like a future potential that we won't add in this book. So I personally think we should probably put Exile. Like, are you against making Exile evergreen already then, or no?
Well, it's not an ability as such; it's a keyword, so it wouldn't fall under this.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's my bad. Whoops. Okay,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. Exile
so
isn't an ability. It's rather, what do you call it? An effective ability? I'm not sure. So
yeah, well,
we'll
a
use,
keyword. Yeah,
okay,
the same way destroy, draw.
Yes,
all of those are keywords.
You got it. So we want trample, flying, stealth, flying. We want haste. Haste and disengage. Yeah, I think first strike can probably go away. Like, I don't think we need to include it in this.
Yeah.
It's only on what's his face right now, and I got it spelled out currently.
Yeah, but I think trample, flying, and haste.
Okay.
Are probably just the 3. Yeah, the only 3 in there.
Okay, so not transform. Okay. What about disengage? I feel like we have stealth flying in here, so why not disengage? Because stealth flying is just flying and stealth flying, or flying and disengage combined. Yeah. I feel like disengage should probably go here as well.
I don't know. I'm not sure I'd put stealth flying in, but
okay.
Depends how.
Because it's
because
it's technically new in this set, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. So with this set, there's only one thing with stealth flying.
I have 2. Yeah, I have 2 guys.
Or 2 things. Yeah, but it's new to this set. So.
Yeah, the blue squad and then the black hero. Those are the only 2 with stealth flying. Yep.
So probably as a general rule, I mean it's not exact, but as a general rule, if a keyword ability has appeared in 2 separate sets, on the 3rd time it's appearing in another set, it can be an evergreen if it's appropriate for it to be.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Because then it's like, you know, anyone who's been playing the game has become familiar enough with it.
That's true.
That they won't need it written out.
Okay. Yeah, I like this then. Yeah, these are probably the ones we would want. I don't... Vigilance, Lifelink, Seaborn, Death Touch, First Strike, Transform, Stealth Flying. First Strike, has that appeared in more than one set? I don't know. No, it only appears on the one white spell right now. So this would technically be the 2nd set. I like where you're going with that anyway. That sounds cool. I agree with this, what we have here. Let's make these like the first 4 that... Yeah, like I did with the Shia, where it's like if you play a green sorcery, it gets trample until end of turn, and it doesn't spell trample out, like the description of it. I like it. Okay. Okay. All right. Wait, are we good with this now? We did skip like the entire spell section, but we got these in here. Yeah. The Define Exile mechanics and then the Evergreen. We're good with these. All right.
Yes.
So let's go back up to where did I put? Oh man. Blue.
Blue, yeah.
Which
all right. Jace.
Oh, the Jaces. I tweaked this one a lot from when we first talked about it. I can't remember. So I got rid of any enter the battlefield effects only because I just felt like I don't know why. I don't know what to do with an Oath of Jace. That's the problem. Because so number one, I feel like Jace is really good. Like mono blue is really not a bad color. So I don't think he needs a lot of help. That's just me personally, so it's like I made this a cheap spell that just... What's this? Oh yeah, while you've played no spells, you can draw a card once per turn. Oh yeah, that's right, and if you do this, you may only draw, or play up to 1 spell. It's just a trade-off, it's a choice to be made, that's really all it is.
Yeah. What happened to the end of the battlefield?
All
the oaths are going to have an end to the battlefield and a continuous. That was the idea.
I dumped some of them, unfortunately. Wait, let's see. Did I get rid of all of them? I got rid of the one for Oath of Liliana. Wait, I don't think we ever did an Oath of Liliana, because I think I made this one up myself. Oath of Chandra. Yeah, Oath of Chandra, I just made it at the end of turn as well. Is there anything more? Oath of Nissa. Oath of Nissa, I just made straight disengage.
Just made it straight, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, the one that has enter the battlefield right now is Gideon, actually. It has an enter the battlefield and an ongoing effect.
I mean, the idea of having two effects was to mirror the card game, but also to like kind of elevate them into that legendary status.
Okay, and these are supposed to be legendaries, so right? That's what you wanted.
Yeah, that was the idea.
Okay,
that's what I was proposing. So they'd be legendary because they have an enter the battlefield and a continuous effect.
That makes sense.
So they're more powerful than a standard enchantment.
Yep. Because when I was doing this, I personally was like this close to just saying I'm not going to bother with legendary cards because it just felt like too much work to try and like balance those. But yeah, if you're back on board, then I don't mind. Like, let's hash these out. So then we would say legendary. Wait, so would it be called a legendary enchant planeswalker, basically, or a legendary enchantment, something like that?
Legendary enchant.
Right.
Yeah, legendary enchant. No, how do they phrase it?
Probably have to look one up.
I think they're just called enchantments, aren't they? As types on the card.
And then it's like the symbol that tells you it's legendary or something?
Oh no, in Magic, yeah, it will be a type. It will say legendary enchantment on it. I mean, in Arena, how are they in Arena? Are they called enchant planeswalkers, or are they just enchantments? I think they're enchantment auras, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all enchantment - aura. Yeah. So
yeah,
would
so
it be a legendary enchantment?
Legendary enchantment - aura.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good. And yeah, I think I shorthanded it. Again, yeah, these are all just like rough, so it's like we'll figure that out. We know it's supposed to be legendary at this point. I don't care. So yeah, we can add an enter the battlefield. It's just what. I personally am not a huge fan of just saying keep drawing cards because the deck is so tiny. Like your average deck is only 12 cards, so it's like I hate just keeping at it, adding more and more draw effects. But if we have to, I guess we will. It's just like, what else do we add here instead?
Oh, what if that was the thing? That you can have more cards in your deck.
What's that, though?
So you could say, rather than enter the battlefield, you could say, if this card is part of your spell deck, you may include, 2, 3, 4 additional cards.
That seems pretty decent, actually.
So many additional points.
Yeah, so it'd be like, what's his face? Like, so if we look at...
Yeah, the Jace, what's his name? Investigator.
Oh yeah, Investigator. Suck-ass Jace, yeah. That's fun. Wealth of Knowledge. Okay, it says the maximum total cost of spell cards you may include in your library is increased by 25 points. So how do we tweak that? You're right.
I guess is Oath of Jace allowing additional cards and
I would
points?
Say, like maybe one. I wouldn't want to go more than maybe 1 or 2. I feel like 3 or 4 is a lot.
Yeah.
But to say like 1 or 2 is probably
when you're starting at 12, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe two extra cards and what's the average cost? Yeah, let's find this out quick.
Of a spell? Like, what are you gonna take the average cost of like all the spells?
Yeah.
I would guess it's 15 or 20, but how are you gonna do that math? Do you have like some sort of database of goodies already lined up, and you can do that?
I once worked out the points and card numbers by color. So
oh my gosh.
I have that.
So wait, do you have like the average cost of like a red spell and the average cost of a blue spell and all that figured out?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's freaking cool. I need to have that sent to me. Is it like a doc?
Yeah, it's just an Excel spreadsheet, but I posted it. I can't find where now. I posted it on.
I've seen a lot of the shit that you post on like Arena.
Planeswalker Arena.
Yes.
Forums.
I didn't see that though. That's funny.
I'll just hold on. Let me bear with me.
Yeah, go for it. I'm just chilling to whatever this music is. What is this? Isaac's battle theme from Golden Sun? Dude, I haven't played Golden Sun in like 1.5 decades. Oh my gosh.
Why can't I find it now? This is
I mean, no huge deal, right? We're in the rough draft phase. Alright, so the maximum total what number of spell cards you may include in your library is increased by 1, let's say, or maybe 2. I feel like 1's probably a slightly better starting point, but maybe 2.
Yeah, I think it's saying you may include 1 extra or 2 extra cards in your spell. Yeah.
So would I put that as the opening statement of the card, like the very first statement of the card, or should I have this be the first statement of the card? The Oath of Jace can only enchant a Jace Planeswalker you control. That's the fun part.
Oh, that's true, actually. Maybe that should be at the end then, about the spell deck.
Okay. And
yeah.
Do we still want to keep this effect that I have right here, this normal effect? Or the ongoing effect, whatever you want to call it. Okay.
Yeah.
So all right, the maximum. Huh? How do you make this? How do you make this clear? I guess we'll just write in here the maximum. Oops. Total number of spell cards you may.
You can just say
include. Yeah.
Like you may include 1 additional card.
That's true. Wait, you may. Maximum total number of spell cards you may include.
And then the maximum total cost is increased by.
You may include what? 1 additional card? I feel like I'm comfy with saying 1 additional card right now. You may include 1 additional spell card in your library. But right, and then what are we gonna say that the? Are we still gonna say that the price the whatchamacallit, the number of points is increased, or no? We're just saying that you can include 1 additional card and that's it. So it's like 13 cards and still 200 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
that's fine with me. That's what I think I'd prefer that we do that. So that's fine. I mean, so we just leave it at this. You may include 1 additional spell card in your library. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Okay. Okay, I like this, but I feel like the points. I feel like we can't leave this at 5 points. It's probably gonna have to be. I don't know. My gut says 15, but that's kind of a random number right now. It's kind of hard though, because the more expensive we make this, the harder it is to squeeze 1 additional spell into the deck, right?
Here we go. Right, I found it.
Okay.
That's the right. What color are we talking about? Blue. There are 27 blue spells currently, and the total cost is 490. So that'll be 18 and a bit points on average per card.
So, yes, 10. So do we leave this at 10 points, or do we make it 15? I don't think it should be more than 15 because, like, it's literally saying that you may include one more spell in your library, which is just... If it's too expensive, you're not going to be able to fit another card in your library, huh?
Well, are we not also adding extra points?
I don't know. I think I'd prefer not to, but...
Sure, yeah.
Considering the one Jace already gives you extra points, the shitty Jace.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, it works nicely with that.
This would synergize well with him and a little bit less with the super busted Jace. At least that. Do you think one of the Jaces is better than the other? I mean, because in case you already can't tell, I think Jace Investigators sucks. But what do you think of the two of them?
I think the first Jace has like an insane amount of attack and defense for being blue. They hadn't really worked out the blue style of play, I think, and they just pumped up his stats to compensate.
I think so. That's generally how I feel. Yeah.
As a character, Jace is not a fighter.
Yeah, and he kicks everyone's ass somehow. Like, he has like he's tied for the highest life value. He has he's tied for the highest move value, tied for the highest range value. He has the highest power value. And he actually has the lowest toughness value of all the Planeswalkers. But at least in the first set, the first 5 people, yeah, he's literally top dog in every stat except for toughness, which just makes no sense. Yeah. It made no sense. So anyway, yeah, I think that Jace is way overtuned, which is why I tend to not want to make this Oath of Jace give you additional spell points, and instead, like, you can include additional card, which I think slightly makes the other Jace, the shitty Jace, the Investigator, makes him a little bit better. Because he gives you the extra points, which means then you can spend more points on the additional card as well if you want. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it's backwards thinking.
If you're not with Jace Investigator, then it is giving you more options for all these card draw things.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have more cheaper spells, and that's balanced out by having to search for the one you want.
That's true. Ugh. I like this. I think this is pretty cool, as it is.
Yeah. Cool. I like it.
Alright, we'll move on. Rush of Ice? Okay. This is the one I was talking about earlier. And I've changed the condition here. The first sentence says play Rush of Ice at the start of a wizard start of turn of a wizard or drake creature you control. Target hero creature and each creature with the same name as target hero creature may not take a turn during their controller's next turn. I've changed this opening condition a bunch of times. Like, first I had to say during your Planeswalker's turn, and then I had to say during a blue squad's turn or a blue hero's turn, and then I said, well, you know, we have 2 blue wizards with the 2 heroes, the Merfolk dude and Necro Alchemist, and then the Drake is just the new squad. So I decided to try and play into that. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
I could just completely get rid of this conditional, which I thought about a lot too. Just get rid of it and be like, it's just like detain straight up. It's like you just play it and who cares? But
probably just having it as a detain, because requiring to have a wizard or a drake just feels not very thematic with it.
Okay. You see, in my head, in my head, what I was thinking is like it's the wizard again. It's like the wizard casting ice using ice, or it's the drakes spraying ice. But I don't know if the blue drakes in Magic spray ice typically. I just thought they did.
Some of them can, yeah.
So
there are blue dragons that can.
That's the theme. That's what I'm thinking of. That's the theme with this card, is that you play this the start of the wizard, which is Merfolk and the Necro Alchemist, or the Drake, which is the Drake squad that I have coming out in this set.
Yeah.
That's the theme. So does that make sense?
Are there any? Well, yes, it's just Necro Alchemist is the only wizard, isn't it?
Merfolk, we're a mage. Both of the blue heroes are wizards. There's a Merfolk wizard and a human wizard. Yeah. So this only works with the new blue squad we have, and then those 2 heroes right now. And it should expand, I think, as time goes on. I would hope.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would have just done it as a blank one, but fair enough.
we could still get rid of it. I
guess just see how it goes. I guess, isn't it? It's see if it's getting play or whether you're not using the wizards or drakes enough to then use that spell when it comes out.
Well, yeah, that's kind of my concern. Is that personally, when I use blue, I don't usually use the Royal Mage, or I sometimes use the Necro Alchemist. I don't know if the Drakes would see use personally. I think there's a chance, but I don't know. But like for me, I'm usually using the other 3 blue squads, honestly, or the Eldrazi Ruiner. Like if I want a hero in blue, I'm not usually using the actual blue heroes. The Eldrazi Ruiner just seems better. This is kind of my push to help get those lesser used units. Like if you want to use this awesome hero detain spell, you got to bring these guys in your army, right? I might cut this. I think I had it at 25 points when there was no conditional. It's just I changed the conditional so much, and I just haven't changed the point cost. But I think when I had it a blank without the having the specific creature, 25 probably would be fine as like a just play it and it does its job. But I could see it going down to like 15 or 20 if it's with this condition. It does feel kind of whatever odd or contrived or whatever you want to call it to have this conditional here, but that was what was running through my head. But to encourage the use of these guys more, so that it wouldn't work with the illusionary projections and the lantern guys and the oh my gosh, the leyline ghosts, the leyline phantoms, because they all seem really good to me as they are. All right, so we're okay with this.
Yeah.
All right, hidden enchant, clutch of currents. So it says flip it over when your enchanted planeswalker is attacked by a planeswalker or hero creature an opponent controls. The attacking figure gets -2 power until end of turn, and then destroy clutch of currents.
Yeah, solid. Like it.
Seems solid. I'm pretty sure that's is it mostly copied from the card game? I know I looked at the card, but now I don't remember what the card did. The actual Zendikar card. I think it might have actually unsummoned a creature. I can't remember. Or, like returned to the opposing hand. I don't know. I like the art though. The art looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Let me have a look. This one's delayed.
I like adding hidden enchant markers for blue.
That's cool artwork. Yeah, it returns to hand, so yeah, unsummons. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we already have Aether Spouts for that, so I'm not going to redo that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why, as I just thought.
Yeah, no.
I like the card, I like the idea, so it's a hidden enchant. That just gives -2 power to one hero or planeswalker that attacks you for the turn.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's pretty reasonable. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to add. Okay, so we're pretty happy with blue, these 3.
Yep.
Black. So, I forget if we talked about it, but I added, my idea is to add 5 black spells, 5 green spells, because black and green, I have 21 spells in their pool, I think, or 22, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
All the other colors have 27, right? So black and green got shafted. So, yeah, I have 5 black spells here. So, alright, the Liliana is a legendary. This one's going to be, we might even have to just, like, rewrite this entire thing, because this is going to be nuts. The current effect doesn't have an enter the battlefield. Whenever a zombie creature you control within 4 clear sight spaces of Liliana... Wait, of Liliana? Enchanted. Wait, why do I have Liliana here? That's funny. Alright, if Enchanted Planeswalker is destroyed by a source an opponent controls, you may immediately roll d20. 17 or higher, place that zombie on an empty space adjacent to Enchanted Planeswalker. Should I put the Enchanted Planeswalker? And place damage markers on the zombie until 1 more damage would destroy it, and that might need some retweaking. But the only reason this phrase is mostly here is because of the Ghoul Vanguard. It's because if he's destroyed and then you roll a 17 or higher, like you don't want him coming back with full 5 life. Like that's too much of a swing in Liliana's favor. What this is the effect of going for is that like the zombie comes back, but with 1 life remaining. So it's like, the Ghoul Vanguard can come back, that's fine. It's just, he'll die in 1 more hit.
Yeah, I think, what would be the way to phrase that would be to say, place X damage markers on that zombie where X is 1 less than its life.
Okay. Place X damage markers on that zombie. Okay. Where X is what? It's life -1 or
1 less.
All right. Oh, so that's the actual wording. 1 less than its It's what, life
No,
value?
+1.
It's life. It's a no.
And it's life, yeah. Life is just a term, same way power and toughness is.
Okay. So would that be capital L? Because like, that's referring to like a... Is that a proper noun
What
at
do
this
they do
point?
on Vanguard?
Yeah, that's a good question, right? To see how they spell like range and life and all that. Yeah.
Let's see how they do it. Yeah, no capitalization.
You're right. Move and range, they're all
Okay.
lowercase. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, this seems good. I like that. That gets the idea across. That's what I wanted. Do we make an enter the battlefield effect for this though? We can change this D20 roll, and I don't know, like, do you want to ditch D20 altogether? I like the idea though, to be like, right, the zombie dies and it just immediately comes back on that's effectively a 20% chance.
Yeah.
Considering, I think Liliana is going to be, because she has the zombie toughness thing, where she gives all of her, all of her zombies within 4 clear sight spaces +1 toughness. That, like, she's generally using all zombies to begin with, so it's like this should be pretty easy to meet at least once in the game. 25 points is pretty expensive.
Did it come back as a token?
Should it come back as a token?
So this is the question: is once it's come back, when you kill it again, is it allowed to come back a second time?
Yes, that's the intent behind it.
Okay, then yeah, it just comes back. Because if it's only once, then you do it as tokens. But,
yeah, I don't mind it repeatedly coming back. Are you familiar with the Morrow Dividers from HeroScape?
Nope.
They are, if you want to look them up real quick, they're basically similar to this power, although without the line of sight of each other. But they have a power where, like, when they would die, you roll the d20. If you get a 17 or higher, he doesn't die, and instead another one comes back next to him, and then, like, you just keep doing it over and over. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's fun, but it's like low odds.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So
nice.
I'm kind of going for the same effect here, to be like, yeah. So it's like when you roll the 17 or higher, the zombie comes back, and yes, it's supposed to be that you can keep rolling it, which can be busted, but when it requires a 17 or higher, it's like, that's 20%. It's not happening often.
Yeah.
I'd expect it, and again, we can play test it, but I expect it to happen, yeah, once or twice a game, honestly.
Yeah, but I guess it depends how many zombies you have in your deck. How many would you have?
600 points. My first thought for this card is 600 points. Right, you got Liliana, Vessel Zombies, Bladed Reavers, and Ghoul Vanguard. That's 7 zombie figures, and that's 600 points.
Yeah,
so
7.
You're rolling 7 times.
Chance.
Yep.
When you kill everything for the first time, you'd expect that to be, well, 1 or 2 to come back. And then when you kill them the second time, probably wouldn't get anything coming back.
You would, yeah.
So there's probably within a regular, within a few games, there might be a game where you return maybe up to 4 zombies reasonably.
A lot of luck, sure. But here's the thing: you can't forget they're always returning. They're always returning.
That would already be unlikely.
They're always returning with 1 life though, so it's like it's not super busted.
So it's already unlikely to return them more than 4 times. That would be start getting into vanishingly small probabilities.
Yeah, no, so here's the math behind it, or at least like I try to think about this in the way like the dividers work, the Morrow Dividers, is that so every time you succeed, you're going to roll it again, right? So it's like, so you have 7 zombies, so all 7 of them can die. You'll roll it 7 times. If you don't succeed a single time, that's it. You're 0 for 7. If you succeed once, you're 1 for 7, but you still have 1 additional roll coming because you have 1 zombie that has to be killed again. So effectively, you're going to be either 1 for 8 or 2 for 8, and then you'll again, like, it goes on and on to be like, then you could be 2 for 8 and then still have 1 additional roll coming because that 1 zombie still has to be killed again, right? Yeah, the whole point behind it is right. Again, it's not going to be busted, like, unless you somehow roll it like 6-7 times in one game, because the zombie's only coming back with 1 life, whether it's the Ghoul Vanguard or the Bladed Reaver, whatever. They're 1 life. They're going to die really quickly.
It'll be easy enough to take them out.
It might, and it might even be inconsequential that they came back. This is going to take play testing. Like, I can't really fathom how well this is going to work or not work in the game right now. This is just my guess, my take. Do you think this needs an enter the battlefield effect, though?
So it depends how powerful this ability is,
Right.
I would say.
Considering how wordy this already is, too, I'm afraid to give it an additional effect just because of the amount of text. Hey, we got Vault Nerfs. Drop a like on the stream. Vault Nerfs, thank you. Appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you back.
Is that?
Yeah, so we're cool with this. It sucks that it's a legendary, but it's only gonna have one effect. But I think this is gonna be reasonably powerful with her, so I don't really mind this. And again, the sheer number of the number of lines of text we're gonna have here is just I don't think I want to add more. All right.
Yeah, have it when she enters the battlefield, gets a token zombie in it, and when you at the beginning of Liliana's turn, you may move and attack with a token zombie you control.
I mean, do you want to...
Let's have the wordiest other ability that we can.
As the enter the battlefield effect and all that crap. Oh my gosh. Liliana's already super
then add a
busted,
third ability, if you can still read this, then you win the game.
If you've read this far, you win the game. Excellent. Alright, number 2.
Okay.
My number 2 black card I have, Ruinous Path. That's the actual. I think it's the actual card. Like it's literally some dude stumbling over jagged rocks, I think. Enchant Unique Squad, 10 points. Enchanted Squad gets a -1 move. There's not much else to be said. It seems black to me, right?
Yeah, that is very black. I like it. Is it Ruinous Path that I'm thinking of?
Probably. It looks like it's like Soren stumbling over a bunch of rocks. I'm not sure if it actually is Soren in the artwork.
It wasn't Ruinous Path I was thinking of. But yeah, no, that looks... It's good. There's another one. There's another card with the artwork of someone chained to a cannonball that they're dragging along. There's a similar thing.
Oh my gosh. That would thematically that would probably work too. Like attach a cannonball.
Can't remember what the card's called though.
A giant ball to drag along. Oh, Ruinous Path destroys a creature or planeswalker. Oh my gosh. Whoops.
Yeah.
Either way, the card art looks fine for a -1 move card, right?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, no, that looks good.
Cool. Well, good. Yeah, that's a simple card. There's really not much to be said.
Yeah.
But I think -1 move is something that needs to happen, especially for a black card. I think there's potential that this might either need to be costed at 5 or 15. I just don't know yet. And the more reason I think that is because we have Paths Revealed. So green has Paths Revealed that costs 15 points and it gives them +3 move. So I kind of wonder if if what -1 move is good enough, or maybe this should be buffed to -2 move or something. I don't know. -2 move might be too debilitating though for a lot of figures that have only 5 move. Like knocking your melee figures down to just would really suck.
Yeah, when taking one move off or another move off of those would have a much bigger effect, I think.
Yeah, so I think -1 is probably the max we can do, honestly. Simply because it's gonna really debilitate too many of the melee squads with 5 move and 1 range. It just feels like it would shit on them too hard. But yeah, I think it's mostly the point cost I'd be interested in toying with. But 10 feels okay.
It could be
gut level.
Could be -1 move and -1 range.
That might not be too bad. Or what I'd hate to do -1 range for again, because then we're entering the range 0. We could just say if their range number is greater than 1, then they get -1 range.
Yeah.
Or we could just make a whole separate black card that does that, which I think I would rather go to at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I forgot about them. It's too many range ones.
I would hate to tread also into the range 0 water right now.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're happy with Ruinous Path. Again, until playtesting, there's really no way to tell.
Yeah.
Dark Favor. I don't think Dark Favor is an actual Battle for Zendikar thing. I think it's just one that I saw randomly and decided to throw it in here. So 15 point enchant Unique Squad. When you enchant a squad with Dark Favor. Deal 1 damage to Black Planeswalker you control. Enchanted Squad gets +1 power, +1 toughness. What do you think?
I was going to make I was going to ponder whether 1 damage to a Planeswalker is enough to balance buffing a squad that much. But I was just looking at the Sorin card, and he doesn't have lifelink like I thought he was. He has that other one.
Wait. Sorin doesn't have life. Sorin has his own built-in lifelink, effectively, though. Well, it's not quite
when he
built-in
destroys it,
lifelink,
he can remove 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if he destroys it, he can remove 2. But it's not like straight up lifelink. Yeah. It could work.
Doesn't seem too bad.
I think, need to balance whether just 1 damage is enough to give a whole squad +1 power and +1 toughness.
White has a card that costs 25 points. Divine Favor. If you look up Divine Favor for White, it's basically the same thing, but it costs 25 points and there's no self-damage effect. Look up Divine Favor enchantment.
I see.
It's really similar
fair
to
enough.
that, but only it costs less points and you deal damage to your Planeswalker. It's a little twist on that. It's called Dark Favor.
Yep.
That's really why. It's like you have Divine Favor, then you have Dark Favor. It's a play, I guess. I like it personally. I think it seems cool.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough. With Divine Favor, then probably is balanced then in terms of cost.
I think it should be relatively close. Again, all these are going to be playtesting is when we'll figure out the truth of, at least get a better idea of if this is too good. I can see it being potentially too good with the Blighted Reavers, honestly, but yeah, time will tell. So you're cool with this as is?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Myers Malice here. Sorcery, 15 points. Target player chooses two cards to reveal from their hand. If they have less than 2 cards in their hand, they reveal their entire hand. You may select one of those cards. Target player discards the selected card. I'm sure you'll figure out a way for me to better word this. What do you think?
So it would be target player chooses. No, you're not even choosing. The target player reveals 2 cards from their hand.
Okay. But so I don't know. Like, would that mean that like me as the black player, I get to choose what they're revealing, or do they get to choose what they reveal? You get what I'm saying? Like, how do I know who's deciding which?
They
cards
would
to reveal?
choose.
Okay, that's why I put chooses to reveal, or choose 2 cards to reveal. Because if you say target player reveals, how do you know who's deciding who reveals what, right?
Because the hand is a hidden zone, you wouldn't be able to target anything in it.
Oh, that would have to be explained.
That's actually explained in the rulebook, but that's how it works.
Okay, 2 cards.
So you can target the player and like interact with their whole hand, but you, as another player, you couldn't say that specific card in your hand.
Okay.
Because you don't know what they are.
Okay.
But anyway, so we target
cards. So yeah, right.
Two
The other
cards
player
from their hand.
I prefer to make it that the other guy, whoever you're choosing, whoever you're targeting, is the one choosing those cards anyway. So that's fine. Do I need this phrase at all too? That to say if they have less than 2 cards, they reveal their entire hand. Just get rid of it.
Yeah, you don't need that because if they have 0 or 1 cards in hand, they have to reveal what they can.
Okay.
And then I'd say select up to 1 of those cards.
Okay. Funny, I had up to
cards.
1. I think I had up to 1 in there, and then I just decided to get rid of it.
Yeah. So you don't need the May, so it would just be select up to 1 of those cards.
Well, right. So here's the thing. Like, is it you may select one of those cards, like basically the same thing, or no? Like, why have you select up to 1 versus you may select one of those cards?
So practically it works the same, but they're always worded like that in Magic. I think because technically that could be interacted with by other spells, so if there was something else that was like well, I'm not sure it does exist, but if there was something else that was like you only reveal one card from your hand or something like that. I don't know what it would be worded like, but technically something else could be interacting with how you have your hand and how you reveal cards from your hand. So if you were forced into the position where you couldn't choose, or you had to choose only one card from it, then that just covers all bases.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Makes enough sense to me. This is the only card. There's nothing in AOTP that makes anybody reveal any cards from their hand, so this is a new thing. Something that I think belongs in AOTP anyway, so...
Yeah. Because even on cards in Magic where you're only picking one card, it will always say up to one.
Okay.
So select up to one of those cards that player discards.
Discards
the selected
card. Seems right. I like it, it's fine. It gets the point across that I was shooting for. Nice and easy. Are we ready to move on?
Yep. Sorry, not target player, that player. And the second time you say it, that player discards the card. You're not picking a new target. Yeah.
That's true, that makes sense. That player discards a subs card. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yep, I don't know my MTG lingo very well, so I just took a shot.
It's alright. Yeah.
Dutiful return.
Got interested in the rules once, so I read the comprehensive rule book.
Yeah, oh my gosh. The comprehensive rules are so freaking insane too.
Yeah.
There's so much to learn.
Yeah.
Our next spell here. Dutiful return, 30-point sorcery. Play Dutiful Return at the end of your turn. You may destroy one non-zombie creature you control. If you do, return up to 2 zombie squad creatures from your figure graveyard to empty spaces adjacent to a black planeswalker you control. What do you think?
Yeah, nice. Does Dutiful Return do the same thing in Magic? I think it does. Or something similar.
It's something like that. I'd have to look it up, yeah, because I honestly don't remember. I think it was something like, put his... I honestly, I'd just be guessing.
Oh, it's just return up to 2 creature cards from the graveyard to hand is Dutiful Return. But I think it certainly works well. We could have it added to reserve, but I don't know. Funny enough, what I've done is I typically... So green also has like a lot of regeneration crap, right? Yes.
And maybe I've mixed it up, but I've typically thought of green in AOTP, like, let's see, did I put any of those in here? Oh, I did. I guess it's further down here, but for Elemental Uprising, I said you take a green Elemental Squad figure from your graveyard and put it in your reserve instead, but I wonder if that should be flipped and say that green puts it on the battlefield and black puts it in the reserve, like, based on what that card says. We don't have to do that, like, you know what I mean? I just, in my head, I'm like, oh, black puts shit back on the battlefield, and maybe green will have it put it, go back in reserve because it's growing or whatever the deal might be.
Yeah, I think green to reserve and black to battlefield is the way around to do it.
Okay. Like to give them both their own regeneration theme, their own resurrection mechanics.
I think in Magic you can typically put zombies back straight to the battlefield, but other things generally to the hand, just because if you could put any creature from the graveyard to the battlefield, it would get a bit extreme.
Okay.
But, yeah.
We're happy with this, as it is?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that you're killing a non-zombie to get a zombie.
To get 2 zombies, even better.
Yeah.
I mean, the only particularly busted thing I can see is you kill, like, an Eldrazi Scion, and then you bring back 2 Bladed Reavers, which is pretty big plus value for you as black, but since it's at the end of your turn, that's the big thing, is that since it's at the end of your turn, your opponent, again, they get the immediate turn to deal with that and react to it, which is important to me, I think.
Yeah.
Because if you read Rise of the Dark Realms, you don't get any, like, you can just play that at, like, right after you've selected to take your turn or whatever. It's just like before you've moved an attack, which is sometimes feels unfair to me. So it's like you bring one guy back from it doesn't even have to be a zombie, it could be anything. Just bring something back from the graveyard next to your Planeswalker, and then you can do your move and attack. It's very, very surprise, let's say. So this feels much more tame in a way, even if you can like kill a Scion and get 2 Bladed Reavers back, that your opponent has a good chance to react and figure something out.
Yeah, a bit more measured, isn't it?
What's that?
A bit more measured.
Yeah, I think so. Like it's not the you had no idea I had Rise of the Dark Realms and now I'm playing it and moving and attacking all in the same turn. This doesn't allow that, so that's nice. Okay, we're happy. So all right, red. I put 4 for red, but I'm not sure if I fully intend to put 4 spells in. it's odd, but as I was looking at red, I realized like they don't really have any hero enchantments. Like I think all they have is Senseless Rage.
Yeah.
So I had it originally at 3, and then when I noticed that, I actually added 1 more outnumber, and I added this I think within the last week or so. So that's why this is at 4. I've been thinking I might want to kick Volcanic Upheaval out, but we can decide that as we work through these. So first of all, our legendary spell here, legendary enchant. We could probably add some kind of enter the battlefield effect here. I don't know, or maybe change the 1 damage to. I don't care what we do. So at the end of Enchanted Planeswalker's turn, deal 1 damage to a creature that's adjacent to Enchanted Planeswalker.
Didn't we have it before where its enter the battlefield was to fire a damage off within a certain range?
I think so. Yep.
Yeah, I quite like that.
That's fine. Again, I just felt like I personally felt like red has a lot of that already, and it's like doubling up on just dealing damage feels kind of weird. But all right, so it's when you enchant, right? When you enchant. What? How did it say? Now I gotta go look this up. Actually, I think I got rid of all those, didn't I? When you enchant. What is it? Up.
When it enters the battlefield.
Is that what we're going to use, though? Enters the battlefield or when you enchant?
Oh, yeah, are we going to... Oh, actually, yeah, because we were following the... something else, weren't we?
It's pretty much every card already in AOTP says when you enchant, X figure, do this. It's, we copied Dark Harvest. That's what I should go back to.
Yeah.
Dark Harvest. Dark Harvest
yeah,
is what that says
because enter the battlefield isn't a thing.
Not really, that's the weird thing. I hate trying to define all this crap. I'll go look at Dark Harvest real quick. Where'd I put it? This is sorceries. No, wait. That isn't sorceries. That was enchantments. Dark Harvest. Yeah, so when you enchant a squad with Dark Harvest, comma, then do the rest. So when you enchant a Planeswalker, whoops, with Oath of Chandra, it was what, deal 1 damage to a creature within. It could be anything at this point to a creature.
Yeah.
Within.
I think it was within 3 places or something like that.
I figured I'd do 5 just because that's Chandra's base range to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ultra powerful, but So is this how we leave it? I mean, it's gonna have to be more than 5 points at this point. I think I'll just bump it to 15 as well. So deal 1 damage when you enchant her with it, and then at the end of her turn, deal 1 damage to a creature that's adjacent to her.
Yeah.
I think
it was 1 damage within 5 size spaces is what we had.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is literally what it was then from whatever it was ago.
Yeah. That is exactly what it was. Yeah.
Just tons of damage. Okay. That's fine. That's not completely terrible to me. Again, I dropped it to 5 points and got rid of the enter the battlefield deal because I just didn't like that it dealt 1 damage and then it dealt another damage at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's only for Chandra, so it's going to be limited. Anyway, like it's not going on Nahiri, it's not going on Arlen, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that one. Volcanic Upheaval, 10-point sorcery. Select an unoccupied glyph within 4 spaces of a red planeswalker you control. Remove that glyph from the game. So I think I originally had 4 clear site spaces, but shit, I don't remember if I talked to you about this. Trail of evidence. Like when we try to talk about like line of sight to a glyph or adjacency to a glyph, did we talk about this before?
Oh yeah, we did.
Okay.
No, what counts is
like, yeah, it's like, you're right, what counts as a JCC? And again, like, how do you decide, do you have line of sight to a glyph or clear line of sight? There's no, a glyph doesn't have like a hitbox or a hit zone like all your army cards do. So I originally had clear sight spaces here, but I dropped it down to just 4 spaces because I didn't want to deal with defining a glyph's hit zone, which, I mean, probably wouldn't be hard to just be like, here's the gray, you know, the gray outline of the glyph. If you can see any part of it, you can see it, right?
Well, I think in the way I wrote the comprehensive rules, that is how it plays, in that if it can see any part of a glyph, then it has clear sight.
And now that I think about it, and that's fine, right?
Because
As long as we write that
you can
somewhere.
see,
Yep.
it was like clear sight to an object, and then there were extra rules for clear sight to a figure.
Yeah.
So
That's
clear
fine.
sight to an object is just seeing any part of it, and clear sight to a figure is seeing the hit zone of it.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, but it wouldn't be the hit zone. We'd have to make sure we don't say it's the hit. Wait, is it the hit zone? I don't think it's the hit zone is the right word, but even I just like ad hoc wrote this crap in here. All right. So,
Yeah.
sorry, this is reminding me. I forgot. I made notes on Nissa. I'm sorry I'm jumping around a bit, but while I can remember this. So speaking of hit zones, yeah, I put here, oh, we said clear sight spaces of Nissa, and I said, oh, wait a minute, trees don't have a defined hit zone. As long as we cover it somewhere in the rules, this is fine. This was just something I made a note of, because, yeah, we need to say, how do we know if there's clear sight to a tree?
Let me check how I worded that.
Go ahead and do that. I'm sorry, I'm going to step away for about a minute, because I got to take a piss real bad, so I'll be right back. Okay. Alright, looks like Luke just took off, probably to go take a piss.
I was just grabbing a hoodie as well. Right.
Oh, a hoodie.
So if you hop over to my stream on Discord,
Oh.
I've got it up. So, that's extra word. My cursor's on it twice. So the blue text is rules I took out of the actual rule books.
Yep.
So the one about 211 AI
Yeah.
about figures is that clear sight is from the sight point of a figure to
Yes.
any part of another figure.
Yeah, not just the hit zone. That's good. But yeah, that's taken straight out of the rulebook, right?
And so from that, I kind of worked backwards to say, well, clear sight is from the sight point of a figure to any part of an object. Because,
Where did you put that, though? Hang on, I'm looking around.
so one line above 211A.
Oh. Sight. Oh, clear sight to an... Alright, clear sight is straight to any part of the object. Okay. Oh, I see. So right, and so that covers everything. That covers the glyph, that covers the trees, etc.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's how the rules are meant to be, because
I think
if you
so.
look down 211B, from the rulebook, it says that clear sight spaces are spaces that a figure has clear sight to. So you have to be able to sight a space, which means you have to be able to sight objects. So from that,
Yeah.
I took
It's
clear
so very
sight to
oddly
be...
worded. I really hate how they define like all this crap for combat.
Yeah, so that's clear sight. And then of course line of sight is only figures to figures, and it has to go to the hit zone.
Yep. Okay. Perfect. So that all right. So that perfectly answers my questions. Then I'm just gonna delete this. The trees have a hit zone thing, because that. I guess we'll have to I think I prefer to put something about that in like some kind of FAQ then, just to make that clear. But I mean, I would assume
Yeah,
that
I
most
think
people who aren't very strictly following rules, would be like, oh, of course she has clear sight to the tree because she can see, one of the branches of the tree or whatever. Like, it's not that hard to figure
yeah.
out. Yeah, it's just that again. Like, my first thought was, oh, wait a minute, there's no army card for a tree, therefore there's no hit zone. There's no hit zone or anything for a tree. So how do you know if I can see the tree? Anyway, and then my number 2 is I think I was playtesting one of the. This is for the. This is freaking. Her tree that she can summon. Is. What was I doing? One of the. Shoot, one of the scenarios. There's a couple of scenarios actually that say like that. They changed the summoning rules so that like you can only summon, I think, directly adjacent to your own planeswalker. I don't know if we care about like this because this effectively overrides that because like you're not really, this isn't really summoning even though we've worded it to say it's basically summoning. It's just that this is telling us you place a tree on an empty land space in 5 slate spaces. So I don't know if we need to change the wording to be like, oh, at the start of the game you place this tree in your reserve, and then you say you may summon this tree, as if it were a creature or something like that instead. Like, what do you think about? Should we retool this, or do you even care about trying to accommodate scenarios?
I think it's probably fine as is.
I agree, it probably is. I just figured I'd ask your opinion. Go ahead.
Yeah, just because you're trying to reword it into anything else would get really messy, especially as it doesn't have its own army card, so it wouldn't be. Or like it wouldn't fit like other things are when they're in reserve. They don't have army cards.
True.
Like, say.
There's not really a lot of stuff that interacts with things in reserve, though, is there?
I mean, I guess not.
There's really nothing. I've thought of some customs and I've tried to. Funny enough, now I'm gonna go into a tangent. But my original form of exile was actually going to be by placing shit in your reserve. Like, my original thought was, like, when you take an opponent's spell card, is you put it in your own reserve. But it's like,
yeah.
Again, I just like the reserve is very much like an untouched area except for when you're summoning. Like, then you just pull shit out of your reserve and put it on the field. Like, that's it. I don't think there's anything else. And again, that's why I was like, when I was trying to decide, should I try exile or should I just I just referenced another zone. I'm like, why don't I just put quote-unquote exiled spells into reserve instead, because it's like you can't do anything with the spell while it's in reserve. Alright, anyway, I'll delete this. I personally didn't really have a lot of problems because it's not like the tree is like an entire squad or like some beefy hero that like suddenly is like a massive threat and might break a scenario. Like, it's a fucking, what is it, 3 power, 3 toughness, 1 life tree that alright, it can move an attack after Nissa does. Oh boy.
Yeah, I think also like as an object, it doesn't matter where you put it, really, even if a scenario is reducing your summoning range.
Yeah.
Just putting an object out there.
Yeah. Because, and you're right, though, because now that I think about it, the one scenario I was looking at, it was the one from Shadows over Innistrad where they got the roads.
Yeah. Innistrad.
Yeah, so you're not on the black side, you're not on the weird spaces side, you're on the other side with the roads, and like there's the huge like river of water through the middle of the map, and there's 2 people that are trying to run all their figures across the map, and one guy's defending the exit. I don't know if you've played it. And then there's like, I think there's 3 or 4 spaces on the one end of the map where you can, like, once your figure steps on that space, the 2 people who are trying to run across the whole map, when they get their figure on those spaces, it leaves the board and they score points based on how much that figure costs. But it's like, the tree has no cost. So it's like, if you somehow summon the tree 5 spaces in on the exit point, like, it just disappears. Like, it has no army card, as you said. So it doesn't break that scenario, which, I guess I didn't consider that very much. But anyway, we did Rabbit Trail, but I just wanted to ask you that because, again, I think there's at least 2 scenarios that say you have to, when you summon, it has to be adjacent instead of up to 5 clear sight spaces. Back to our spells. Oh yeah, so then we're okay. I'm okay with putting clear sight spaces here because I think we probably should put clear sight in there.
Yeah, I agree.
As long as we have some kind of rule to cover that. Yeah, like how do you define clear sight to a glyph? So what do you think of this as it's written?
Yeah, I think it's good because there isn't really anything else that interacts with glyphs. So
I have lots of ideas
Into
too.
the game.
Maybe
Yeah.
not lots, but I have a few. Like I have, I'm not sure if I put it in my doc yet, but for blue, 2 glyphs that I had was like one that would move a glyph, like 1 or 2 spaces in some direction,
Mhm.
and then another one that would flip, that would just like flip over unrevealed glyphs, like without you having to step on them. Like you'd choose a glyph within
Oh,
like
yeah,
5
like that.
spaces, and then just flip it over and reveal it for everybody.
Yeah.
Things like that might be fun to put in the future. I haven't put that in this set clearly. I think we could do more with glyphs though, for sure. Oh, I had a black one too. I had a black one. I think it was called Black Market. Again, like kind of a, or some like black market dealer or something like that. I based it off one of their spells, and it was just like, I think it was like destroy a glyph that your planeswalker occupies. And hi Nell, my wife says hi. It was like to destroy a glyph that your black planeswalker occupies, and then put a +1 power counter on that planeswalker. Again, like just more ways to screw with glyphs and be like, I don't care about this glyph anymore. Let's power up my planeswalker and get out of here.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of unique ways we could mess with glyphs, definitely.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, have that for Kaladesh, actually. Basically, all the machines are powered by ether, which is like a form of mana. So you can break down the machines. It would be like break it down to release the ether.
Sure. I mean, you'll have the ideas. I barely know Zendikar lore. At Kaladesh, I zero. So you're gonna have the ideas. We'll make something.
I think that mechanic would work well on a spell like that for Kaladesh. So let's bear that in mind.
You make a note, dude. If you want to make a note of it real quick, because I certainly won't know how to explain that to you if we need to remember that in the future. Go ahead, make a note. I'll wait a sec, because yeah, if you think it's a good idea, like I'm all ears. When we get to that point, and I'm more familiar with what things in Kaladesh are supposed to do. For now, I don't want to talk. I don't want to get too confused about Kaladesh versus what I'm trying to figure out with Zendikar.
I'll just put it into here quickly.
Yeah, I'm patient.
What was I? Spell. Destroy. Play. This one.
So we're happy with volcanic upheaval. I think we said that, right? And
Yep.
then I went on a whole rabbit trail. All right. Outnumber. This is my phone is slow. This is my enchant hero that I was talking about. This is more of like a last minute ad. Because I think I'm going to playtest the Zada's commander left. I'm really excited for that guy, and I don't know why. I just think that like having a goblin hero is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Outnumber can only enchant a small or medium hero creature. Again, this is kind of random. I kind of put this here mostly because I don't want Red to go and grab the Eldrazi Ruiner and just buff him even more. Frankly, that's kind of the reason. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, if you control at least one other figure that is engaged to the defending figure, enchanted creature gets +1 power for that attack. Might be able to remove for that attack from this. I don't know. What do you think? Or should I leave for that attack in there? Or maybe just switch it to attacking or something like that?
Yeah, well done, the wording.
Yeah, we gotta figure that out.
That way.
You know what? I didn't look at it yet. Tenacity. Let's look at White's Tenacity. I think that one might be close enough to this that it might be. Where is it? It's kind of similar. Creatures you control get +1 power while attacking figures while attacking figures engaged to the enchanted figure. Okay. So not exactly the same. Never mind. It's not quite what I'm going for, but it's close.
Yeah. If it was gets enchanted creature gets +1 power while it is attacking figures
that are adjacent to at least one other figure you control, right?
That are engaged.
Or yes, engaged
with
one other creature, at least one other creature you control, right? One other figure. I want to include Planeswalkers in there.
Yeah, one or more.
Okay, so right.
Yeah, at least one other.
So it's gonna be enchanted. Enchanted.
Oh, is that a bit too sloppy?
I don't know. I think it'll be okay. Hang on. So enchanted creature gets +1 power. Oops. While attacking So I do have figures. I don't know if I want to have figures in here, or do I want to put creatures? I think I'd prefer to put this for figures, or creatures only, instead of planeswalkers. Let's put figures, alright. It's more about while attacking a figure. Alright, hang on. Now I'm forgetting how we worded this. Attacking.
So while attacking figures.
So I put a figure then? Or figures. Alright, figures.
That are engaged with.
That are engaged with at least one other figure
Another
you control.
figure. Yeah, another figure you control, or at least one.
At least one.
You say another, yeah. Another figure you control.
Because I don't want it to
what
include the guy that's enchanted. That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So what should we say? Should we say at least one other, or is another with another?
I think just another has less words.
Yep, another figure.
Figure you control.
Yeah, you control.
Yeah.
Oops.
You control.
Enchanted creature gets plus some power while taking figures that are engaged with another figure you control. That should make enough sense. I feel like it makes enough sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that works.
Boom. Okay. I'll take figures that are engaged with another with another figure you control. Okay.
Yeah, so it's when it comes to attack, if it attacks something that meets the requirements, then it will have +1 power when at the point you're rolling dice, and then it will stop having +1 power after the attack.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like it. Perfect. I'm happy. 10 points seems about right. Again, when I brought up White's Tenacity, that's a 10-point card. It's pretty similar to this, and maybe even easier to use than this, so I don't think this should go above 10 points at the way it is now.
Okay.
Radiant Flames, 20-point sorcery. Deal X damage to target... Oh, this one. Oh my gosh. This seems like a wording nightmare to me. I forgot. X damage to target creature within clear sight of a red planeswalker you control, where X is the number of mana colors represented amongst the figures adjacent to target creature. And I guess I should put that creature here, huh? Anyway, what do you think of this? The idea, I guess I'll explain what I'm going for here, is that, like, if there's like a blue creature, and I want to target it with Radiant Flames, and let's say it has one of its teammates, you know, a blue creature next to it, and then there's a red creature next to it, like one of my own red creatures, is that it's going to do 2 damage to it, because there's red, you know, there's the one red guy, and there's the one blue guy next to it. That's what I'm going for here. It's just, do you think that wording is clear as it is?
I think the wording isn't clear, but I know how to fix it.
Okay.
It's, what does it say? Where X is the number of colors among figures adjacent to that creature.
Number of colors. Okay, amongst. So I'll just say among the figures adjacent to that creature?
Just among figures, you don't need the.
Oops, among figures adjacent to that creature. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me, I don't mind. But yeah, basically the point is that this would cap out at 5, right? Because colorless doesn't count as a color, right?
That's correct, yeah.
But yeah, I'd expect that, again, at 20 points. So there's I guess a couple of things I'm looking at here, right? The cap is 5 damage. We have within clear sight of a red planeswalker, which means the range is effectively limitless as long as the red planeswalker can see it. I don't know if that needs to be retweaked, but I intentionally did that just for something different. And that, yeah, I think in the average game, like X damage, like most of the time, I feel like you're probably only looking at 1 or 2 damage, unless you're playing like a free-for-all game, or like if there's more than 2 players. Which at that point, it's like, who cares again? Because when it's like free-for-alls or multiple players in a game, it's a lot less of what a specific card is doing because it's not a 1v1. I don't see any major problems with this. I guess the worst case scenario is if you have 2 dual color planeswalkers that are both completely different colors, and somehow one figure gets all 4 of the represented colors adjacent to it. It just feels, yeah, so it feels like this isn't going to be busted.
That, when you're playing a team game, that would be most likely to happen.
Yeah.
But, yeah, other than that, I think it works as a card. I mean, of the red spells, it's the one I'm least Like at least like tied to. If you did want to bring it down to 3, but
oh yeah, this is the one you think you would drop?
I think of the 4, I think
Okay.
it's probably the least interesting of them. But,
This one is legitimately from Zendikar. I think that's a funny thing, and this is close, I think, to the original card's effect. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The 2 I generally don't like is Volcanic Upheaval and Radiant Flames. I'm honestly I'd be okay with putting all 4 of these in here, but if you want to keep it super, I should probably save this somewhere. All right, if we're gonna drop it, I don't mind dropping it. Let me add it to my my Google Doc. Wait, is it a Google Doc? I think I made it a Google Doc.
Yeah, you did.
Let me add it to that so we can refer to it in the future at least. Because that is something I want to put at some point in the future because I think that's something cool. Custom spell draft, here it is. While I'm doing that, I don't know if you want to just read through these. You probably read through these green spells, right? I'll just put them up on the screen and
Yeah. No.
oh, sorry. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna copy these though. Oops.
Over that.
This is and if you want to just read those and we'll chat about them in a moment.
Right there. Look them up now.
Wait, sorry. Can you see the screen? You probably can't.
No,
Oh, yeah, you're
you
seeing
just
this
covered it up.
because, shoot, because yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Can I drag this out? And I assume you're still watching that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just pulled the tab out. Okay. Sorry, I might mess with the screen a bit here. Okay. I added it. So I'm ready to move on now.
Okay.
From Nissa. Yeah, so it's literally
Nissa.
just give the Planeswalker disengage. It's just give Nissa disengage, which is probably going to be really good on its own. I feel like it's going to be. That's a guess, but
yeah. We lost the end of the battlefield ability.
Yes, of course we did. Because
it's the only thing.
Yeah.
But which was to move for 2 spaces when you enchant her.
Do you want to re-add that?
Which I think it works well for
Okay.
the Eighth of Nissa.
So I'm just gonna copy that phrase. Where did I put it in Shutter? Okay, it's after. Alright, so when you chant with Oath of Nissa. You control, okay. Oath of Nissa. Let's move that. It was up to 2 spaces. Okay. And then I put the disengage reminder text on here, but since I mean we could still shove it on there, right? This isn't a very long.
Yeah, I think it should still be on there.
Yeah, we could probably squeeze it in there so it can't hurt.
Yeah.
It'd be different if it was like a huge text with a ton of things.
Yeah.
So
That's flying.
Oh my gosh. We're okay with this. I might see bumping it up to 25, but I don't know. Like, gotta play test it. I think disengage is gonna be really good on this though. I really do.
Yeah. This is renewal. I like. There's not much else to say about it.
Oh yeah, you read it. Okay.
Works
Yeah, it's.
Works out. Same with canopy cover, but the wording can be better.
Yeah, sure.
Say, is it? Say, each creature in Enchanted Squad gets +1 toughness while it is adjacent to at least 1 tree.
Okay.
While it is adjacent to. Yeah.
Do you think that makes it clear enough so that people won't think that while one of the squad is adjacent to the tree, that the whole squad gets +1 toughness? That's what I'm trying to avoid here.
Yeah, so if you say each creature gets while it is adjacent, then that clarifies that. It's
okay.
Yeah, because I was about the first in my head. The first draft was creatures in Enchanted Squad get, but that would make it so the whole squad gets it.
Right. So each creature in Enchanted Squad gets +1 toughness while it. Should I say it or while that creature?
Yeah.
What am I saying? While it? Okay.
While it is adjacent.
Yep.
To.
Yeah, I'll put at least one tree.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably could have just deleted the rest of that crap. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the same effect.
Yeah, that's
cool. Works well with trees. And all kinds of trees.
I like
even potential future dead trees or something else.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, and then what we've got, Seek the Wild. Move a friendly hero creature up to 3 spaces. It's +1 power to end of turn. Nice. Is the artwork something to do with a Shire, by any chance?
It's not. I think it's just like some dude scaling a cliff, if I remember it right.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, someone climbing.
I mean, I'm mostly making it for a Shia, but I mean, it technically works for the Eldrazi Ruiner and whatever future heroes we're going to have, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't. It just seems like a standard green sorcery. I don't know what to say about it. I think this is hard for me to gauge right now, so we'll see how it goes in playtesting. Elemental Uprising.
1. Alrighty.
You want to read it?
Yeah, so it's like to single spaced evergreen tree, and you get to token it. What's the line of... Oh, you can't go onto a glyph, yeah, I was going to say. Return one. Yeah. Just one squad figure or a whole squad?
For 10 points, I'm pretty sure one squad figure is all I'm going for.
Sure.
Because
so
here's the thing with that.
No one for that.
Yeah, because we'd have to like severely up the price of this to make it a whole squad. It'd have to be like 30 points, and then the only problem with that is like to take a single move and attack with a tree for 30 points is kind of atrocious.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, no, cool. That works then.
What do you think? So I had 2 thoughts here, and I kind of lean towards keeping this green, but I specifically made this green because elemental squad creature or figure would include the fire cats. I just feel like if you could put even one fire cat back in your reserve and resummon it for another haste attack, I just feel like that's really dumb and powerful.
Yeah, I agree. I think having it as a green is appropriate.
This only hits the Palmer Roots right now, but it just feels like I have to specify this because bringing back one fire cat just means you get another haste attack, which just makes this card way too good for what's her name, Arlene, who's already too good as it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think that specifies it down. Cool. All right.
Yeah, 5 green spells. So that's all 5 then. So I arbitrarily just decided 6 colorless spells. I mean, we could probably even up this more or make it less if you want, but
I mean, there are none currently, so.
Yeah, so we can just pick some random number or like make this 12. Ideally, I feel like I'd want to make this 12, but I mean, we're not adding a colorless Planeswalker here, and frankly, I think designing 12 colorless spells might be really hard to make to balance them, because the point is going to be that every Planeswalker can use a colorless spell, right? Like any one of them can draft a colorless into their deck, so it's like it's going to be a nightmare. It's just going to be a nightmare in my mind.
I agree.
Deliman Kaleidoscope, enchant squad for 20 points. Hopefully you see what I'm going for here. Choose one color: white, blue, black, green, red. Enchanted Squad's color is only the chosen color, regardless of what Enchanted Squad army card dictates, and regardless of what any previously played spell dictates. This is mostly here in case you overwrite Diamond Kaleidoscope with your own Diamond Kaleidoscope. Like, in case two people enchant the same squad with the card is really what I was going for here.
Yeah. Okay.
This is probably Harry. What do you think?
What's the function of it?
It's basically just to change the color of a squad to one color that you want to choose. Like you declare it, like when you play the card to say your black zombies are now white instead. Like they're white zombies.
So how many useful interactions are there for that? That's what I'm wondering.
Probably not a whole lot. Yeah. Let's think. We got Gideon's Phalanx, which only helps white creatures. So you could turn, like, Eldrazi Scions white. Or I guess you could play this on your opponent, like if your opponent is white. You could turn their white creatures into a non-white so that they can't benefit from that. You have Seize the Day from red, which says, you may move and attack with a red squad creature you control. That would help with that. Fell the Mighty says it kills all non-white squad creatures, which means you could turn your opponents again. Like if it's a white mirror match, you can say, your white squad is now a red squad, and I'm going to kill them with Fell the Mighty. There's a few. Let me think. What else is there? Strangling Soot. Black Strangling Soot says when a non-black squad creature attacks the enchanted squad, that creature is killed. So you can make your own squad black. It's pretty niche. Like I'm not gonna lie, that's like really specific, but there are ways to use it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That's convincing enough for me that there are places.
There are a
for
few
it.
ways. Yeah, I'm not. It might be tough. I'm trying to think. What else is there? There's got to be more. I'm just trying to think. Oh,
yeah,
Honor of the Pure. It's
mostly
white. Honor of the Pure from white would also, because it says you have to have all white cards, which means if you have the Eldrazi Scions, you can turn them white with this card. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in terms of the rules, I'd say things to bear in mind is that it will only affect the figures on the battlefield. So if one of a squad is destroyed, when it's in the reserve, it will still be its original color.
When it's in the graveyard, it's its original color?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the enchantment is only taking effect of things on the battlefield, I would presume. Although, squads make it difficult. But...
Well, no, that has to be true, because, think about, or maybe it doesn't, but think about, my first thought in this line was Stubborn Resilience, right? It says that you can only play it on a squad with one figure remaining or something like that, right? Like, so that presumes that, therefore, the other figures aren't. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my line of thinking. Let me pull up Stubborn Resilience real quick.
I think there isn't anything that actually, cares, but I'm pretty sure all enchantments can only take effect with things on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Unless they specifically said features in your graveyard are.
Yes. There's really not a whole lot. Yeah, wait, are there any enchantments that interact with anything in reserve? There's nothing that interacts with anything in reserve at all, actually, so drop that.
No.
But what about graveyard? I don't think there's anything for graveyard. That's only sorceries and the restless zombies and the phoenixes.
And it's also none of them have conditionals, I think, on the figures themselves. Do they?
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean by conditionals on the figures themselves?
So, what do they?
What do you mean? You're gonna have to expand for me to understand.
So, choose a black creature in your graveyard type thing.
Sorceries do, but not the enchantments and not the army cards. No, not that I can think of right now. Anyway, nothing I can think of right now.
Yeah, but I think in terms of making sense of rules, it should only apply to things on the battlefield. If you've enchanted a squad, then you're enchanting the squad on the battlefield.
Yeah, that's usually the way it goes.
And when they're in the graveyard, they have their previous card, as it were, even though their card is still representing the other figures on the battlefield.
Here's a question for you. I'm sure we've talked about it, and maybe I've forgotten, but I know how I would play this, but I want to hear how you would play it. So let's say I have Stubborn Resilience. Let's say I played this on Blazing Firecast. There's one cat on the field, the other two are dead, they're in the graveyard. And then we have black. Like, the fun one is when black comes through and uses... Where is it? Ever After, right?
Oh yeah,
We've talked about this, right? Yeah, so this says return target squad creature from their an opponent's figure graveyard to the battlefield, and you may move and attack with it. So it's like the one that I bring back via this, that red Firecat still benefits from.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, good. So it's like, yeah, then I feel like the logic adds up to me anyway.
Yeah. Okay, and so I guess the most utility of this spell is going to be either pro-white or against white.
A little bit of black, a little bit of... Wait, is it mostly... Yeah, I would say it's mostly...
But a little bit with these other things. Yeah.
Well, it's only...
Or if you're playing...
Anti-black for...
If you are playing Arlen, then you can make Firecats green. Oh no, because that... no, never mind. That's from the graveyard. We just discussed this.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, that's a good point. You're right. Is that we'd have to make a note of that. I didn't even consider that. Right, to be like, if
yeah, that
the
would be...
Firecat's green, they're technically green elementals now for this.
But when they're in the graveyard, the enchantment wouldn't be.
We would have to make a note of that because even I think I would be personally confused at that.
I think put that in the rulings for the card and say, like, just to make it clear. This affects only members of the squad that are on the battlefield.
I'm just gonna put it in parentheses, just to be like, alright, this only affects the color of figures on the battlefield. Creatures in graveyard, alright. Are considered their original color. That's interesting though, right? There's nothing. Is there some way to emulate this, in official AOTP without the spell? There's.
I think so.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure it was ruled for Honor of the Pure by Hasbro. I might have to look it up or try and find it. But like, if you have the Eldrazi Scions, let's say, and then you have like the hookers. Like you summon them both on the field. Let's say all the Scions get destroyed and they're sent to the graveyard. Honor of the Pure says if you only control white creatures, then all of your white creatures get +1 power and +1 toughness. So it's like, I think it's right. So the Eldrazi Scions are dead, so they're not considered part of your army at that point. So Honor of the Pure then works, starts working for your hookers once all the Scions are dead, because now you only control white creatures. I would say at least we probably follow some logic along that, and maybe if I can find that Hasbro ruling, it's at least that's the way it goes in Heroescape. I think though is that like for the fourth mass line where it says like if you have an all valiant army they get +1 defense, and that that includes like if you have even one non-valiant figure, just send him into his death first, and once he dies, your army is now all valiant and they get +1 defense.
Yeah.
I would say that logic probably carries here and should apply here too. That's odd though. I think this is worth FAQing for sure. That's really confusing.
Yeah, for sure. To say that it only affects the creatures on the battlefield, that's fine. Yeah, we'll put it into the rulings section.
Okay.
Right. In fact, it might even be worth it with this splitting it off, because I listed out all the spells, obviously with their rulings, as part of the comprehensive rules. But it might be better to have that as 2 documents: the rules and then the cards reference.
All the different Hasbro rulings that literally knock heads with themselves because one guy said this and the other guy said this, and so play however you want. Yeah, it's unfortunate. So this is primarily like a pro-white card and also an anti-white card, but there's a little bit for black and a little bit for red too, with like Seize the Day.
I like that it has the flexibility.
I don't think that there's anything blue or green that can make use of this right now. Maybe it'll get there in time. Anyway.
Yeah. But I was just checking on how to word it as well.
Yes.
So we can cut out a lot of the volume of text that you've put in. Because you can quite simply say...
I'm ultra wordy.
You can just say, choose a colour, enchanted squad becomes that colour.
So choosing a colour means I can't just say purple? Or, grey?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
Colourless isn't a colour. They can't be chosen.
Well, right, but I can't even choose, like, yellow. Like, I can't just say yellow. Like, when a card says choose a colour, it's always implied it means one of the 5 colours from AOTP.
Yes, they're the only colours that exist within the rules.
Okay. Choose a color. Alright, sure.
And then Enchanted Squad is that color.
Okay, so
Or Enchanted Squad becomes that color. No, hold on. This is continuous effect. Yeah, it is. You'd say is that color.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay.
Everything else is implied.
Is it? Well, yeah. See, that's what I mean. Like, if you say is that color, like, if I say my blazing firecats are green, it's like, well, then are they green and red, or are they just green? Like, so I'd rather. Do you really like? Would you hate if I said Enchanted Squad is only that color? Like, I feel like I would like to put clarification here to say that it's not the color it is before, and it's only the new color that you decided it is, right?
I mean, that can be put as a note in an FAQ that under the rules, if something is if an ability dictates let's use white as an example, just so the wording's easier. But if an ability dictates that a creature is white, then it is only white. Otherwise, it would say Enchanted Squad is that color in addition to its other colors.
Oh, okay, right. Of course, I forgot about those. Yeah. Okay. All right, is that color, and then I can basically just delete the rest of it, huh?
Yeah. That's just.
So the next question. Oh wait, then that kind of covers it. So it's like, again, like let's say both players or multiple players anyway are using this card, and they both, like, let's say I on turn 1 turn my Firecats green, and then you on turn 2 turn my Firecats blue. My Firecats are only blue, right? They're not red or green at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that second point is. I mean, this is the only scenario it comes up, but there is a relatively complex bit of the Magic rules about how you determine the order of effects, according to what kind of effect is trying to do. But the bottom line is when there's two of the same kind of thing. So in this example of when there's two of the same spell being cast like this, the most recent one is the one that takes precedence.
Okay.
But I should add that into the rules if this card is in there.
That's a good
to
question.
clarify
Right.
that.
So it's like, what? So I guess the clarification is if there's two of the same card played and like they would conflict with one another, right? To say that like, oh, you know, my card says that my cats are green, but yours says that they're blue. Because my other thought is, if for some reason, like let's say we play a team game, like Divine Favor, we just looked up from white. I don't have it up, do I? Dang it. But like, so Divine Favor just says the Enchanted Squad gets +1 power, +1 toughness. Let's just say for some weird reason you and I, like, or whatever, we're playing a team game. I put my Divine Favor on your squad, and then you put your Divine Favor on your squad. That squad is getting +2 power and +2 toughness, right?
Yeah.
Like those stack? I assume they stack. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, they stack. Yeah.
So then I assume, right? Then the point of this, of what you just said, is that basically when you play two of the same spell and their like definitions or whatever, their effects are conflicting, is when the latest one takes precedent. Yeah.
Yeah, when the two abilities are in contradiction of each other, like that. Let's say when they're in contradiction but on neutral ground, is what I'm trying to say. Because there's also a rule that if something says something can be done and another effect says it can't be done, the can't be done takes precedence.
Yeah. So I mean, before we go any further with this, do you think this is worth having in the game? I mean, is this too much of a rules headache and we should just delete it? I thought about it a lot too, because I was like, I think I would like to have this, but this feels like a rules headache waiting to happen too.
I think it is an interesting card to have.
I think so too. I think it's something worthwhile.
Its use might be a bit limited, certainly at the moment, but there are times when it could be helpful.
Yeah, I think so. Although now that I think about this could be really dumb with the Keswick Rangers. Because then you can turn your Keswick Rangers into red squad creatures to get Seize the Day benefits. Oh my gosh. I don't know if that's going to be prevalent, but I think that'll be the first thing I play test, honestly.
Yeah.
That is so nuts. Not only can they double attack, now they can triple attack. I mean, but you're playing a whole 20-point spell plus Seize the Day on top of it to make that work, so it's like I intentionally made this, like, this is kind of expensive in my opinion, but that's intentional because some stuff is going to be really wacky with it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think having it as an expensive spell is appropriate.
Okay. Also, so I want to add the other ruling. So, if you're gonna put this, are you gonna put this, or is it already in like the comprehensive guide? I guess I should say the whole thing about the conflicting spells, where the latest one takes precedent.
That should be in the comprehensive guide as a rule, as like a base rule.
Okay.
So it will need to be added, but
then I won't add
be
that.
there. Maybe a note at the bottom, but and then it would be put as a like a FAQ ruling on the card as well, just so people referencing the card can see it.
Oh, okay, yeah, because this is a really short text. Yeah, this is literally like 10 words, if that, 7 words, whatever. That's a very short card. So yeah, we could add like rulings underneath. That would be cool.
Oh, I meant in a separate document.
Oh, in a separate. Oh, I see. Right, like
The same way that Magic on their Gatherer website has the rulings for every card.
Yes. Okay, I got you. Then in that case, right, this is just a short. This is just a very short card.
Short and sweet, but
Like,
things to clarify if you think too hard about it.
Oh my gosh. All right. Next up is All Is Dust. What do you think of that one?
Okay. Deal up to 3 total damage in any way you like amongst any number of non-colorless creatures adjacent to any drowsy creatures you control.
That's wordy.
Yep. Good card. The wording can be improved, I'm sure.
But how? That's really the point is that you can just have any number of Eldrazi's basically like dealing damage to any number.
Yeah.
It's hard, I think. That's what I want though. That's really what I want with this card, to be that flexible.
I think it's distribute damage, but I'm gonna try and find a Magic card that has this wording.
Does Dust actually do that? I can't remember. All Is Dust might just like kill every creature on the battlefield or something nuts, I think.
Yeah, probably. There we go. So Avacyn's Judgment from Innistrad was a spell that deals 2 damage divided as you choose among any number of targets.
Okay. So divide, it says, huh?
Say divided as you choose. So what it would need to be is deal 3 damage divided
deal 3
as you choose. Or in fact, we could use the same kind of wording. So All Is Dust deals 3 damage.
So we want to use All Is Dust. I don't think there are many spells that like when you say Incinerate, like Incinerate says deal 3 damage. Like it doesn't say Incinerate deals 3 damage.
Not in Magic. No, sorry, not in Arena, but in Magic. For these kinds of spells, that wording is used.
Okay.
Just to make it sound nicer, I think.
Dust deals 3 damage in any way. Oh, sorry, wait, it was
divided.
Yeah.
What did it say? Divided as you choose.
As you choose, yep.
Among any number of target. Yeah, any number of target non-colorless creatures.
Okay, target non-colorless creatures. So do I need a hyphen for non-colorless too? I can never remember. I think because non-white. What am I thinking of? Like Fel the Mighty, I'm pretty sure.
Non-white, yeah.
I'm pretty sure Fel the Mighty says like non-white. There's no hyphen in there, so I just kind of assume that anything is non-hyphenated then. But I have to look it up to be sure because I thought that's what I based this on. Where the frick is Fel the Mighty? Yoink. Oh, it's not loading. Oh no, the image for Fel the Mighty is broken.
Oh, is that the one that...
It's broken.
Oh no, it isn't.
It's like
There's one that just doesn't have the... Okay, is this one? So if it's non-white, yeah, non-white doesn't have a space in it.
Like no hyphen or anything, it's just like all one word?
Yeah.
Alright, I'd assume non-colorless is the same then? Anyway,
yeah, I guess it would be non-colorless.
So, alright, any number of target non-colorless creatures is which are adjacent to any Eldrazi creatures you control?
So among any number of target non-colorless creatures adjacent to is it an Eldrazi? No. Adjacent to hold on. Any number of target non-colorless creatures adjacent to an Eldrazi creature you control, I guess.
Does that make it sound like that it's only one Eldrazi creature that you're doing that to, though?
So grammatically it doesn't, but
oh, I see. Right. Deals you damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures.
That's a true false thing. Is it adjacent to something?
Right. So for each target creature, is it adjacent to an Eldrazi creature? That's really what we're saying here.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what I wanted to say. It's just that's confusing wording. Can we change? I still hate this. I still personally find this confusing. Can we say to at least one Eldrazi creature you control? Like, is that okay, or is that just not any better?
I mean, you can. Yeah, it has the same meaning.
To at least one. I feel like this helps to clarify that it means like, you know, amongst all of your Eldrazi creatures.
Yeah. I guess the other thing is it target? Do you want it to be target creatures or?
I do. I want it to be like you can spread, so I can have like the Eldrazi Ruiner and then an Eldrazi Scion over here, and like you can have like a hero. You know, you have one hero and one hero here, and I mean, put 2 damage on one guy and 1 damage on the other. Like that's. I really just want it to be like dump damage on random things adjacent to your Eldrazi, basically. Only without the random part. You know, you choose where you're putting the damage.
Yeah, I mean the difference is if a future theoretical hexproof ability came around, would you want it to stop this or not? For example, that card from Magic Harrison's Judgment. Oh no, it does target them. It's just worded differently. That's why.
So then this would be blocked by hexproof? This would be blocked by hexproof? Like this version of all
yes,
I don't think I mind, personally, unless you think it shouldn't be. I haven't thought much of hexproof or anything.
I wasn't coming from the angle of I thought it shouldn't be, I was just raising the question.
Okay, that's fine. I have no preference.
Cool.
Considering hexproof isn't even a thing, I have no idea if it'll be balanced or... maybe we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Hexproof is mostly out of my mind, but yeah, I mean, if hexproof is immune to this, it's alright. It's a colorless spell. It's whatever.
I think having it as a target.
I like the spell as it is. It's extremely expensive.
Isn't there like? What is it? Isn't there only like one card in Official Arena that uses the word target, and that caused a whole problem of a debate once?
There's a couple of cards that use target. Some of them will say choose target creature. Like I feel like they use weird wording. There's a few that say target creature though.
I don't think they were massively consistent with it.
I don't really think so.
Anyway,
try to make it more consistent. Maybe I think that's why target has always confused me, because AOTP is very like loose with how they do it, in my opinion. All right, Spatial Contortion. 10-point sorcery. Target creature gets +1 power, -1 toughness until end of turn. That's a simple one. What do you think?
Yep. Yeah, that's the one we had before, wasn't it?
Yeah. But we had 3 colorless spells before, didn't we?
One with had Warping Whale as well.
Yes. I don't think I've changed this one. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I've changed this one. And it works. This also is going to work with the new squad that we're using, the Mind Rakers, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Are we introducing any more 1 toughness squad creatures? I don't think we are. No. We only have the 1 squad, and it's the dragons, the drakes. They have 3. Whatever, though. I mean, this still affects the... What happened?
The lights went...
They have like auto turn off after like an hour, 2 hours of no movement.
Yeah. This is into the evening.
Oh, that's right. It's 9:30. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That's right.
It's getting late.
Right, it's a bank holiday tomorrow, so.
Wait, what? You get a holiday tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow's a bank holiday for the coronation.
Oh my goodness.
It's an extra bank holiday.
I don't pay attention to your guys' holidays. Well, cool. What are you going to do tomorrow?
I don't know. It's going to rain. Just hang out. Yeah.
Playtest a Shia.
Yeah.
I just
yeah, I'll do something for Arena.
I've been using the Eldrazi Ruiner figure as a stand-in for a Shia.
Yeah.
It's like just a fat ass, giant figure. Anyway,
yeah,
so warping
try and do something. I might even might make some terrain or something. See how it goes.
Oh, 3D? You like 3D printing, or are you still designing?
Yeah, well, I might try and print like the boards or something. Try and make some of the game boards, or 3D print the Hedron that we've got the model for. Have to see.
Oh yeah.
See what it's my fancy.
Or something for that, dude. For the Hedrons.
Yeah.
Honestly, for the Hedrons, I might have to like pay. Like I might do one of those deals where like I'm gonna have some other company print it for me, and I'll just pay for like shipping and all that.
Yeah.
It's probably
gonna try and find like a local makerspace that has 3D printers, because that'll be far cheaper.
Okay.
Than ordering online. All the ones where you order online are like, no joke, like literally 10 times the cost of the materials.
Really?
To print them. Which seems insane, given how easy it is for them. But
yeah, well,
I don't know.
Gotta make money, dude. It's capitalism for you.
Yeah, it just seems like an insane markup, though. I guess it's just it's the market it's in, isn't it? It's a specialist thing, but
yeah.
Having gotten a 3D printer, I know how cheap plastic is. So,
if I had like a little more time, maybe not time. I do have time. I guess it's a little more money and I guess space. Because where I currently live, it's like we can't really fit anything else. Like I can't imagine trying to have some space set aside for a 3D printer. I don't know.
Yeah,
my
no,
daughter's 5. She would probably break it in an instant. Like I just have too many concerns and problems to. I really want to 3D print, but it's probably gonna be like a decade for me, and hopefully it'll be like really consumer friendly at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway,
it is an investment, and there's no point spending the money on it if you're only going to print the odd thing every now and again. It wouldn't be worth it.
I'd probably print a lot of HeroScape, when I get there. Like some of the expensive shit, like the dwarves and stuff. Like, dude, just fuck that. Like, I'm not paying $80 for an official set of the X grinders. If you're familiar with them.
I'm not, but yeah. Well, I've been doing the same. I printed the first expansion.
Like the Raylin and the Ring.
Yeah.
That's fun, dude. That's so cool. Yeah, you gotta print the, dude, you could be making bank if you print the, what are the later sets, like the dwarves, the X grinders of the Burning Fork. People are selling the 3D printed versions for like $15-20, and it's just four little figures, they're dwarves, they're little midget figures. But it's because you can mark them up, because like the official HeroScape dwarves are like, they're $80. It's so dumb how expensive some of those are.
Yeah. Anyway, back to
we're cool with Spatial Contortion. Are we cool with Warping Whale? I feel like I'm cool with Warping Whale. Well, I mean, again, other than playtesting, it seems decent, right?
And go back there. Yep.
And so instead of saying, I guess we should go back to here, because now I'm thinking about this. So it says, with one toughness or left, should I put if that squad creature is adjacent, or should I leave if target squad creature?
It should be that.
Yeah, okay.
If that creature, yeah.
Okay.
You don't need to repeat
squad. I can just say, if that creature. That's a good point. If that creature is adjacent to at least one figure. Yep, that works. Okay, and we're cool with this.
Yep.
Okay. Drowsy Conscription. Oh boy, this one might be another nightmare. Maybe you have ideas already. So 40-point enchant squad. Play Drowsy Conscription. Some of these conditions can probably disappear too. I haven't thought a lot about this. Play this at the end of the turn of an Eldrazi creature you control. Eldrazi Conscription can only enchant a squad with one figure remaining. That's kind of like, what's that red one I just said? Oh my gosh, what is it? Stubborn Resilience. Enchant a squad gets +1 power, +1 toughness, and you control it as well as its army card. And here's a question I had, but I'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
It says, when Enchanted Squad is destroyed, return the army card back to its owner and place Enchanted Squad in his owner's graveyard. What do you think about that?
So you're taking control of it with an enchantment.
Yes, that's part of what I'm going for.
Yeah. Say.
It's messy. It's messy. This first conditional can probably go away. The whole play it at the end of an Eldrazi creature.
Yeah.
But again, because it's Eldrazi conscription, I kind of wanted to be because like you could literally use the spell and not even have an Eldrazi in your army, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess if you want to limit it,
I kind of wanted it to be like, oh, it's the Eldrazi. That's because it's like if I'm going to use a bunch of red creatures and then play Eldrazi conscription, it's like, what the hell does that have to do with this entire red army that I'm using? So I don't know.
Yeah,
again, I put that in there
enough.
because I want it to be like it's the Eldrazi doing this, not the red fucking fire cats. Like it doesn't make sense. So
yeah.
So it's weird that we have two conditionals now. That to say that it has to be at the end of the turn of an Eldrazi creature, and that it can only enchant a squad with one figure. But I feel like it would be busted if you could use it on any full squad. So,
so I guess power +1 toughness, and then I would say.
Yeah, right. How do you word this?
What does it sound? I would just say you control that. You control Enchanted Squad.
Okay, and you control
because I don't think control of an army card is really a thing, in that the army card is just there to represent the stats and so forth of the figures on the battlefield. I mean, you might disagree with me on that. You might say it's its own entity, but
well, here's the thing. So, isn't that the way Action 2? For Action 2, selecting an army card, don't you have to select an army card you control? Which is, I mean, if you play Eldrazi's conscription, the point is that you'd want to take a turn with this card in the future, right? That's what I had in my mind, I think, when I said that, like, you wanted to control the card, because I think, by the rules, for Action 2, when you select an army card to activate, you pick something, you pick a card you control.
So which spell is that?
That's not a spell, that's just the rules of, like, when you're taking a turn, right?
Oh,
like,
I
you pick,
see, yeah.
like, do you take a turn with your Planeswalker, or your creature, or your hero creature? Like, you have to pick an army card, I think is what the rules say. So, I think you want to control, or someone make it clear that it's controlling the army card as well.
It's true, actually, because, what is it? Common, when you have commons, you pick the army card, and then you pick 3 figures, or however many that match up. Don't you?
Yep.
In your turn.
So the control of the army card might be significant.
Yeah. I'd say you need to check the wording of the original Jace and the wording of is it Negaxa from Heroescape? The one in Rise of the Valkyrie.
And Negaxa tells you to take control of the army card, I'm pretty sure. Jace doesn't, because you only use it, like, you don't activate the Planeswalker. It just says you may move and attack and use an activated ability, or something like that, or use the activated abilities. Either way. Yeah, so you're not, like, this Negaxa is the one we want. That's a good idea. But I'm like 90% sure Negaxa says that you take control of the figure and the army card, and that's because, right, you want to be able to put an order marker on the card and, reveal it. I'll look it up real quick, though, just to verify.
Yeah, I think that would be the biggest clue.
And alright. Where is it? Negaxa. Alright, is it written out? Alright, can I zoom it in? Okay.
Yeah.
Take 20, it says take control, of the chosen figure and that figure's army card. Which is, so we want something like that, I think.
Okay. Any unique figure. And all figures on it. I see, so that lets you take a whole squad as well. You now control the army card and all figures on it. Remove any order markers on this card.
You know, it's weird that it says if you roll a 20, take control of the chosen figure and the army card, and then it says you now control that army card and all figures on it. Like that kind of just reiterates the same thing, doesn't it? It's weird.
Yeah,
but they're,
funny word.
I mean, that's just Hasbro being sloppy, like always.
So,
right?
Yeah.
So we say you control Enchanted Squad and its army card, right? Like, would that be exactly what we say? Yeah.
Enchanted Squad. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And then, as before, if someone else played the same enchantment on it, that would take precedence.
Yeah, okay, good point, right. Yeah, right, it's the same deal as
and
the
then
kaleidoscope there. Yeah.
and then you don't need the rest of the text at all, because when things leave the battlefield, they always return to their owners' zones.
Okay. To owner's zone. Okay, that's a thing. I should read more.
Yeah, so the battlefield.
I don't know what the... Is that what it says in the official rulebook? Like, as far as, like... Does it say, like... Did it say, you know, like, when you do this or when your thing is destroyed, does it say to the controller's graveyard, or does it say to the owner's graveyard? You know what I mean? Like, it's a... I haven't really looked much into this now, so now I'm very intrigued.
Well,
Sure.
actually, that's how it would work in Magic. But I don't actually know how that would work in Heroescape with Nigoxa.
I don't know either. Let's look at Nigoxa for a moment and let's see. Hang on. Mind Shackle. Let's see. Oh yeah. I guess we have to figure out what we would do with this ruling. I didn't even consider this. You can never have more than 2 of the same unique. So like, let's say I'm playing with like the Scions and the Flamewing Phoenixes. You have Flamewing Phoenixes, right? Like, let's say I try to take control of your Flamewing Phoenixes. How do we handle that?
That's interesting. So I would have said that the rules about only having one unique thing applies at the deck building point of time.
In the building phase. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you did that, then they'd be treated as 2 separate squads, just with the same name. But like one card would still be linked to one set, and one card would be linked to the other set.
But
is how I would.
How do you make sure you don't mix those figures up?
Well, if it does say in the official rulebook, you should mark the figures if 2 players have the same ones.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Actually, even that even includes one more opponents. It's right. It's like even if we have all of our figures, like you have your 3 Flamewing Phoenixes and I have my 3. It's like, how do we know who's who's? You're right. That would be marked in some form, or it should be. Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I really don't mind going against this ruling here, because this is just a Hasbro ruling or whatever. And right, the Heroescape community follows this, but frankly, I could see it the other way, because I thought that too. I thought, oh wait, Mind Shackle says you can take control of the card. It's like, only the rule says that, and I thought that's only for army building myself, but I could see it either way. And I tend to agree with what you say, but I don't care completely either direction.
Yeah, that is the way I would have thought it should work.
We can just decide that for ourselves, though.
Yeah,
it's like, do we
they're
want to
treated as separate entities, or they would be treated as separate entities.
I don't.
Although now I'm
it that way.
wondering, so the legendary rule in Magic the card game says that if you control 2 legendaries with the same name, then you have to immediately sacrifice one of them, or something along those lines.
Oh, really?
But I'm wondering if that happens if you take control.
I assume it would. Didn't you just say if you control 2 legendaries with the same name? So that literally means by taking control of another one, you have 2 legendaries with the same name that you control, right?
Let's see. You can't control 2. Okay, yeah, so the legend rule for Magic says if a player controls 2 or more legendary permanents with the same name, that player chooses one of them and the rest are put into their owner's graveyards.
Okay, the rest are put in the owner's graveyard. Okay.
Yeah, so they're not sacrificed either. They're just put there. They're just gone.
Right. So then do you think we should follow what Hasbro ruled here?
I think probably be best to stick with keeping it the same as Heroescape, in that you would have to pick one. One goes to the graveyard and one...
oh, it's not even that. Well, so that would be synced with Magic. So in this case...
True, yeah.
So in this case, yeah, it would say... yeah, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, it says no. It says can you use Mind Shackle? If you already had that figure... Yeah, it says no. Oh yeah, so it says no, you can't use it. It says under any circumstances you can't have 2 of the same. So you can't even play Eldrazi Conscription as long as I have Flamewing Phoenixes, I can't take control of yours. But if all 3 of my Flamewing Phoenixes are in the graveyard, then I could, or at least by Heroescape rules, I could take control of yours. Now that's
yeah.
But this brings up the Restless Zombies, though. Think about the Restless Zombies. That's a problem. because the rest of the zombies can come out of the graveyard once. What maybe is that a massive problem? No, it would be, because if you had one restless zombie remaining, and let's say I had all 3 of mine that were dead, I could take your one zombie over with Eldrazi Conscription, and yet the restless zombies would say that, would say that at the start of my Black Planeswalker's turn, I would want to roll the d20, right? Oh yeah, that might get hairy.
Black Planeswalker. Roll the d20 and return.
You return all 3 of them. You return all 3 of them to the graveyard from the graveyard within 4 spaces.
Yeah.
So yeah, then it's like now suddenly we bring a second. So we could take it one of 2 ways, right? We could say then you can't roll for Darkness Arises for your own, for mine that's currently in the graveyard because I control yours, or we can just say you can't enchant. We can literally just say that even if you have unique figures in the graveyard, you can't grab another unique of the same, another same unique of the same name. I don't think I particularly care either way. Again, I would tend to actually lean towards the former, to say that if I steal your zombies and I just don't roll for Darkness Arises for my own that are in the graveyard. What do you think?
Yeah, I think applying a form of, using the wording of the legend rule from Magic is the neater way of doing it from a rules perspective, to say that if you end up in a scenario where you have 2 unique things of the same name, you have to pick one to keep and one goes to the graveyard.
So then in that case, are you saying...
Rather than saying... Because in terms of defining rules as logical rules, it's harder to say if you are going to do something that could result in this illegal scenario, then you can't do it, if you see what I mean.
Yeah. Right, so then what you're saying is I could basically play Eldrazi Conscription to destroy your squad at that point, right? Effectively?
Yeah. Yeah, so at the point you gain control of them, you're in control of 2 unique squads of the same name. You have to choose one to put into its graveyard, and you choose one to keep.
Okay, right. Right, and that can go back and forth. Okay, I get it. Well, I should say, maybe to illustrate that I get it. So right, let's say all of my zombies are in the graveyard. I take your zombie, your one remaining zombie with Eldrazi Conscription, and let's say you take your turn, yada yada. Because don't forget, this is at the end of the Eldrazi turn. So let's say I play this, I take your zombie, you take a turn, nothing happens. Let's just pretend nothing happens. My turn comes back, I roll for my Darkness Arises. My zombies come back. I then have to either kill your zombies or leave my zombies in the graveyard, right? That's basically what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine. That makes a lot of sense. I like it. It's just a matter of writing that in the rules somewhere, or in a rule book.
Had that under the list of rules to add. I had, write legend rule, because I'll know what that means.
Should we say... So here's the thing, though. Oh, is that my wife? Alright, one sec. Keep that note.
Yeah.
Hi.
Okay, say... adding the legend rule in.
Okay. Yeah, they're coming home in 5-10 minutes or so, so we'll have to call it here. I want to hash this out a little bit more. I just had a question. Oh, so because what if... Because we have one conflict I think we need to consider, was what if Jace Mindstealer is another Jace? So now you control 2 Jaces technically, right? You don't want to just insta-give your... That would be really bad for balance in a blue mirror matchup, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is that now you can just insta-kill another Jace by mind-controlling it? Or mind-stealing it, whoops.
Maybe it should be if you control 2 army cards of the same name.
I could see that, yeah.
That would
be the one way around it, because you never gain control of the army card with Jace Balearin's...
That means even if things give you temporary control of other stuff, I think planning on having a few things that could do that.
Yeah, it would never give you control of the army card, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the distinction then.
It is going to be fun loops, right. So we need a rule that says, right, if you control 2 unique army cards of the same name... Then but then what? Then you destroy all figures associated with the army card. This is like spaghetti, man.
Yeah, choose. It would say choose 1 army card and its associated figures. All other army cards and associated figures with that name are put into their owners' graveyards.
Okay. Okay, that actually sounds really clean. Wow. Okay. I like it.
Well, that's just the wording of the legend rule. I did just take that.
That's fine.
Okay, so put that down in the rulebook notes.
Yeah, oh my
then.
gosh, how do we word all that? Yeah, this will be our final point to get... Did we get all of our spells done? Hang on. Oh, we have Gruesome Slaughter.
One more. We'll do that. You can do that as well. It should be timed.
Hopefully. Okay. So where do I want to put the rule for the frickin'... Oh my god.
So just in this additions to the comprehensive guide, yeah, in this bit, just put legend rule for unique army cards, and I'll know what that means
so MTG
to type out.
Legendary rule for AOTP unique army cards / taking control of multiple unique army cards. Whatever. I'm gonna get wordy because I'm always too wordy. Cards, but you'll know what that means. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So otherwise, we think we're happy with Eldrazi conscription.
Yep. Nice. Oh yeah, you don't need the last sentence of it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's the
that
default.
should be implied, but again,
Things always go.
I just hope that's implied.
Things always go to the owner's graveyard.
Okay.
Because the battlefield's the only place where there's control. Everywhere else, there's no such thing as control.
Okay. So, okay, I can agree with that. That works for me. All right, Gruesome Slaughter, 35-point sorcery. Play Gruesome Slaughter at the start of the turn of a hero creature you control. Target creature gets +1 power until end of turn. It fights up to one creature that is adjacent to it, and then the fight thing. Each fighting creature deals damage to the other creature equal to its power minus the other creature's toughness. What do you think?
Yeah. I like it. Whenever I see fight in A2P, I just hear the Dead or Alive intros.
Wait, Dead or Alive intros?
Don't know if you ever played those games. It's one of those boxing type games.
It's like a Mortal Kombat or whatever.
Street Fighter type games, yeah. Mortal Kombat, all that genre.
Okay. I've never played Dead or Alive. Fight.
Anyway, we always start with like get ready and then fight.
Right.
Anyway,
and it plays like your intros. I get you. I get what you mean.
Yes, I like the card. I think it works well.
I think. So, I guess one thing I'm going to note for what I have, when I intentionally worded this card with. So we play it at the start of a hero creature, right? So I intentionally worded this for, I guess, so target creature, which means this could hit a squad. I think we originally may have put the target hero creature, but I don't know why, but I changed my mind and decided to make it more flexible and say a target creature, which could be the hero creature that's taking a turn, that's fine. But also that could be a squad that gets +1 power, and that squad then could fight an adjacent creature. Like, it's a little flexible.
It's an extra attack, either for the hero of the turn or for another creature.
Yeah.
What you're saying, yeah. So our original version,
I think it said that was for a hero.
+1 power, and then instead of attacking, it fights for the rest of the turn.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I think this function works better. It's easier to understand.
It's not bad. Yeah, that was. I think that's why I changed it. Is because maybe that's what it was. I do remember that's the way we had it, and I just felt like it was kind of hairy to understand. This is just decent. It encourages you to have a hero in your army, and then you fight with some creature, and that creature gets +1 power, which could be the creature you're taking a turn with, or some random squad or something. Yeah. Well, good, nice and easy then. So we have it. Like, we have a good set of spells, and we're happy.
Yeah, I think you just moved the tax backs then in that one.
Did I? Where? I did. Undo. There.
There we go.
I'm not sure
nice.
why I moved that.
Yeah, it's a good set of spells. So wait, is that enough spells for everything now?
Yeah. Well, we have like 3 for every color. Well, we have 5 for green, 5 for black,
3
for the other colors. Oh, I didn't delete Radiant Flames. I added it to my dock, so let's get rid of it.
Yeah. Okay. And then
red by 3 spells. Okay. Right.
3 of each, but 5 black, 5 green.
We have our legendary
and 6
enchantments.
colorless.
Yeah, and the 6 colorless again is just kind of random. It could be more, it could be less. I don't know.
Yeah. How many is that in total then? Is that 12 for the 3 colors plus 10, 22 plus 6, 28? Yeah.
12 for the 3 colors plus 2 more for green, 2 more for black though. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Or did you already include that?
Yeah.
Wait, 5 by 3 is how much? 15 though? 5. So there's 5 colors, and we have.
Oh no, yeah, I can't add. Hold on.
So you have 5 by 3. You have
3 of
15.
each, but 4 extra.
Yeah. So you have 15 for
It's
the 3 by
27.
5, and then 4 more for the extra. So we have 19, right? Plus 6 for the 6 colors. So we have 25.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any more spells, right? Yeah. 25 spells is a pretty decent number.
19. Yeah.
Especially
25.
when 6 colorless spells means every color is getting 6 more spells, effectively.
Yeah.
I could actually see dropping this to like 3, maybe 2 or 3, because playtesting these is going to be a nightmare, I feel like. Hopefully I'm wrong.
Just throw them into some random decks. Just swap them out, I think, into pre-built decks.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That would be the easiest way. It's just play a game with like the pre-built decks out of the boxes, and but swap out in one of the colorless spells for it.
Okay, I could do that. I could try that. I've been trying to play more scenarios too, because I feel like I've done a fair share of playtesting with Nissa and Gideon, just for like as far as like what I would consider competitive.
Yeah.
And so now I've been playing more. Like again, that's why I brought up the question with the one scenario. Because I was playing her in the scenario, and I was like, well, I'm like, she's not bound by the summoning rules because this isn't exactly summoning, but we said that it's basically replacing summoning in the text. But
yeah,
so I've been trying them in the scenarios. I have no major qualms. Everything seems good. I don't have major problems. Ashaya feels like it's in a pretty decent spot. Like I feel like it's finally doing some work with what I have, so I'll be playtesting that a little more with my free time. You know what, dude? Yeah. So, wait, you said you never had much interest in playing AOTP Online as far as like the top-down like Google Docs views like HeroScape has?
I mean, are you talking about Roll20?
Yeah, basically Roll20.
Yeah, I mean, I would, yeah. Like, see how it goes. Obviously, it's taking out the 3D element, which it isn't. Yeah, it makes it less good, but.
Oh, I agree, but
it's still a good way of doing it.
I mean, I use it for playtesting if it makes you feel. Are they home?
Yeah.
Oh, they're home.
Actually, with Roll20, can you take turns like asynchronously? As in, like, can you take a turn and then I at some other point take a turn? Or does it have to be like live?
I think it's possible. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's possible for me because I'm the GM. I'm like the game master. So like I can just come in here and move shit around whenever I want, and then like I assume maybe if I made you a GM, you could just come in and do it the same way I could. So I think that should be possible. Yeah.
Yeah, just thinking maybe because then it would allow us to have games, but without having to.
That might be fun.
Like schedule in a set time or anything.
Can you see?
Just do it.
Can you see? I don't know if you see the image, but yeah, we could try that.
That'd be worth it. Yeah.
All right, I gotta say goodnight. I gotta say goodnight, Luke.
Thread somewhere.
All right, well, so you and I, maybe we can talk about that sometime, but that would be fun.
Yeah, sure.
Even for playtesting, to be like, hey, I move this thing here, I roll these dice or whatever. The only problem is hidden enchantments again. To be like, how do we know if and when hidden enchantments, like what they are, and if we've triggered them, you know?
Yeah.
Something we can talk about in the future. Hey man, yeah, it's been great talking to you. I always love progressing these customs along. I'm really excited for this crap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you agree that we're basically just filling out the rulebook a little more and mostly playtesting at this point, and hopefully, we have the right scenario too, but we're getting there, right?
No,
right?
Figure out the terrain stuff, and then it will be mostly done. Yeah, there's playtesting. Yeah, just got to playtest these cards, and then.
Yeah, I'll be playtesting a lot. Like I'm absolutely I'm burning through. I'm hammering the playtests. Yeah, and maybe I should talk a little more with you about Roll20 here. Like it'd be fun to playtest with you instead of always me just playtesting against myself.
Yeah.
And I have to look at both hands and figure out. I feel like I'm generally not like super biased as far as like, I know, they have this card in their hand, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to look at it, try and look at it objectively, and be like, what would I do if I didn't know they had this? Like, what would I do regardless?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. We can talk about it in Discord as the week goes on, but yeah, I'll totally play like an asynchronous AOTP thing over Roll20 with you. That would be fun. All right, man. Hey, I appreciate you sticking around for this. This has been a lot of fun. How does next week look for you on Sunday? What are you doing? Oh wait, it's Mother's Day. I won't be able to do anything. It's Mother's Day.
I'm also busy next week. I'm running a 10k.
Oh nice! Holy crap! Well, good luck, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, final things to say before we kill the stream.
There's anything else? Yeah, I think strong set going through all the spells and try and work on some terrain and start building things out. Might actually make the cards in the template or something.
Oh, nice! That would be fun. Okay. All right, man. Well, yeah, thanks. As always, thanks for your time. This has been great. We'll be in touch on the Discord. Everyone else who's watching the stream, all 5 of you, thank you for sticking around. We'll catch you around. We'll catch you all around another time. Take it easy. Luke, you have a good night, all right?
Yeah, Angie, see you all next time.
All right, thanks. Take care.